Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of BangCulture Podcast. Alex here.
Mike here.
And Jacob here.
And today's big topic at the last bit of our episode today is going to be on DLC or kind of monetization for after purchases on things, mainly games, but yeah. And I will start first for our what we've been up to. The first thing, because I've been talking about it so much, I finally finished OKKO. Let's Be Heroes.
Good.
Yeah, I watched the last episode, I think, a few days ago. And I like how it ended. Some of the escalation really annoyed me, but I think it's just because I get really annoyed when the evil form of KO gets out of hand and starts doing things that feel just really weird. So for the last half, maybe not last half, but the last 4 episodes or so, except for the very final episode, I guess. He basically was working as the minion of the main antagonists for that season, because it's kind of switched up a bit. And I think it's talked about a little bit before, where it was said that the main villain is KO's father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So for a lot of that last part, he was kind of working for him and stuff, and it just feels really weird because they make it feel that the evil side also hates him, and then to suddenly kind of swap that, how he feels about him at that end there felt really weird, kind of a little forced, I guess. But a lot of things don't make sense with how he feels, and it's really weird. But I really liked the last episode. The last episode had it to where there was a really weird kind of time skip, but all the episodes just happen really quickly is how they kind of go about it. Is it keeps showing up the little title cards, and the very beginning of whatever would happen in that episode happens, and then it just kind of cuts to the next one. And it was it talked more about how growing older, thinking back on things, you don't really experience them obviously again, and it feels like everything kind of flew by. And so that's how they kind of do it, to where it's he's now in the future for them or whatever, where everybody's grown up, and he's now a hero, a more established hero or whatever, stuff like that. And how he now runs the place that he was working at for the series and stuff. And I think it's a really cool way of doing the grown up thing.
Epilogue as far as where they always win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they have a little message with it and stuff like that, which I liked. Yeah. Oh, the other thing, which is, or I think they did it better this time, but the power that the evil side of KO has felt really weird, but at the same time, they also, I think they do it a little bit better with how it escalates, because it escalates during the ending a bit, and they do a better job at that. But yeah, generally him being stronger than most everybody else still feels kind of stupid. Well, honestly, it's pretty much everybody else. There's no one that can step to him, and it's just So, until they become supercharged with these energy pellets or energy fruit, I guess, because they grow on a tree. But yeah, which
it's not drugs that way.
It's not drugs. It's natural drugs, man. Yeah, so it just, that still rubs me the wrong way. A lot of things around him rub me the wrong way, but I liked how they did that. So that's that for watching. I watched the first, or no, I think I skipped the first episode because I've seen it a long time ago, but the second episode of Darling in the Franxx, I started that, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with it or not for right now. But I liked how all of the characters interacted. That's for sure. In the second episode, like, just all their interactions were really good. There wasn't anything I really thought was super bad about it. I just was like unsure on continuing.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I never finished it. I hear about 2/3 in or so, it starts kind of go off the rails.
Okay, yeah. I'll probably try to go back to it. But I still need to watch the last few episodes of My Hero Academia that I'm probably gonna go back to this week and just finish up the newest season, or the last season that came out. But yeah, but other than that, I've started instead of Darling in the Franxx, I was like, you know what, I'll also see how much I like the beginning of Gravity Falls. And I have to say, I really liked the first episode of Gravity Falls, and I feel it leads into really well what the series is about, where it's kind of what people are learning about supernatural things that are happening in their world, and then kind of subverting expectations on it, and then kind of going double down on those expectations. It's really fun.
Have you not watched Gravity Falls?
No,
Alex?
I've seen 2 or 3 episodes of Gravity Falls way back when it first
I've been trying to
came
get
out.
to watch it forever.
Like, I've never watched it, but of anyone I know, I should have assumed Alex had watched Gravity Falls.
I just like it never
Years, dude. Years.
where I just haven't had any service to really watch it while I was going to college and stuff. And
Like,
then,
I think
so.
Jordan has watched Gravity Falls, and like, the last one I would have expected.
It's not, yeah. He took the Gravity Falls away from me. That's what happened. He stole the enjoyment I would have had. So I hope he like used it well. But yeah, so I'm really I like it. It took me quite a while to get through one episode of Darling in the Franxx. So I'd like pause a little bit, go do something else, and then like come back to it. But with Gravity Falls, I like just watched 3 episodes back to back. So that's how I knew. Like I'm just gonna like this probably more than it. But there wasn't anything wrong with Darling in the Franxx. It's just that's where I am right now with what I want to watch.
Okay. Even if as a whole, apparently Darling in the Franxx isn't amazing, it did give us 0-2, and that was a great contribution to like the overall waifu-verse.
I think 02 is a really fun character for sure. That was probably my favorite thing about that episode. Is just how she just messed with people in that episode was hilarious. So yeah. So that's all I've been watching in the past couple weeks. Watched actual full show wise. But yeah, I talked about it on the last podcast, and so between then and now it's been 2 weeks, and I've finished all of Mass Effect 3.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was really fun. I had to take a little bit of a break during the last bit of it. So I crushed all like the side quests and everything, and I had like I want to say max amount of points I could probably get, because they have like, in case you're watching don't know, on Mass Effect 3 there's like a bar for your total power you accrue for a giant space war, and then there's a second part that is your readiness, and I didn't know what that was. You guys remember what that is?
Is that the one time multiplayer? Maybe I know. Like,
Yes.
there's a portion
Yes.
that you had the multiplayer for, but then like at first it mattered, and then like within the first week they patched it to where it doesn't matter. No
Yo.
one wanted to play the multiplayer that badly, even though it was actually pretty good. The Mass Effect 2 and 3 multiplayers were actually kind of.
Yeah, I actually played a little bit of the multiplayer when it came out. I think on one of our friends' accounts. But yeah, it was fun and all. But yeah, I was really worried that like I was at because I didn't know that. I thought it was 50% of the campaign was done. Was not the case. I was like, why is it stuck at 50? I do a bunch of the side quests and whatnot, and I'm like, why is it still stuck at 50? And I did the main quest, and I'm like, why is it stuck at 50? And stuff like that. And so I was really confused. I stopped playing for a little while because I wasn't 100% sure what was going on with the game. But yeah, the other day I looked into what that meant. I was like, okay, so that's what that is. So I don't know if you played before the DLC for it came out, but was there the giant party thing in the original, or is that Citadel DLC? I wasn't 100% sure.
Giant party. I think
it
that's
was in the
DLC.
original. Are
Really?
you sure?
I don't know. It's been a long
It-
time since
Because I've only played it this time with all the DLCs. So
That's true. I only played it after the DLC came out too, because everybody said the ending was fucking trash. So I was like,
I did get the DLC. I don't remember a giant party, but it doesn't mean it wasn't there.
okay.
What sort of party? Like, what?
You get okay. So probably I'm guessing it's DLC now that I think about it. But yeah, you get like a little like house in the Citadel, and
that's
and
DLC.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's why I was like, since it is in the Citadel, I'm guessing this is part of that DLC. Yeah, in the Citadel you get Anderson's old apartment apparently, and
Yeah.
you throw a party in there.
I'm pretty sure Shepard dies in the original ending.
Yeah, and all three. One ended up to save him.
So yeah, I was gonna get to that. I think in one ending, if you had a certain power rating for readiness times what your total space power is, you can, when you pick the destroy option, Shepard lives, and there's like a tiny little scene where he breathes in the rubble. Yeah, the classic. He's gonna make it out of there alive, regardless of if he's trapped in space on a giant destroyed space station. Somebody's
gonna come looking for him, clearly. Even though they're not supposed to be able to get there again because the space jump.
Well, you would be able to because it was right outside of Earth, so everybody on Earth would still be able to help him.
Oh, right. I'm thinking of a different one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Normandy flies off to. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like the planet you go to where you meet Moradin. It just looks like that planet, but I don't know. It doesn't really say anything about it.
So, did you choose the destroy ending?
Yes, I was because I looked because I was like really confused on what the endings were all about. So I was like, I might be able to live if I do the destroy ending. I did the destroy ending,
Okay.
and I did live. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll do the
I wonder how many people picked the assimilation ending.
I'm not gonna lie, the symbiotic one.
Yeah.
I know I did.
I would have done that if I wasn't gonna like chance the living, because well, at least for when I played it, when you talk to Child, it even after they reveal that it's the catalyst, it still says on his name like thing Child. So, but Child didn't say that Shepard would die choosing destroy. So I was like, out of all these, it seems like if I want to like make it back to all my friends and stuff, like I guess I'll try this one. And again, because I wasn't 100% sure on the like likelihood of living.
Right.
I looked up a thing and was like, okay, so if I have enough power, then I'll try it. So I did it. Yeah. So
if you choose just this one, you like Shepard definitely dies. I mean, like synthetic Joker and Edie like get off the
Mhm.
Normandy like grassy planet
Yep.
to like go off and live their life together now.
Yep.
That whole relationship was also just super weird.
I thought it was hilarious. Honestly, the funny thing is that they're they are in a relationship of some kind, and to get all in Citadel specifically, they do a bunch things or during the party where I forget her first name, but Trainer is like talks about being like super attractive to Edie or attracted to Edie, and it's hilarious to hear. That was one of my favorite parts of it. Is just her stammering over the thing she said or thought. It was so good. But yeah. So the one weird thing in my playthrough that I wasn't 100% sure about is because I had picked in two to romance Jack, and you get a few scenes with her in Citadel. And apparently there is either a glitch or something where actually one of the parts of the scenes you're supposed to have with her didn't happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I was like, is that coming up? Also, I'm pretty sure there's more scenes with Joker and Edie that just wouldn't trigger like at all in the DLC, so I got really confused on that. So I feel like I was cut from half of that DLC just not working, or a quarter of it, I guess.
Since you played all of them, did you actually have a continuous save file across all 3 games?
So, yes, technically.
Cool.
So yeah.
There was someone I knew who wanted to make a perfect save file. Maybe it was AJ.
It was AJ. I remember him talking about this. But yeah. But yeah. So the funny thing about that is I actually took one from the internet. I found a place where you can do that. Not like
so
the most.
It wasn't your
no.
ones.
Yeah, no. Because I've played through Mass Effect 1 twice already, but I didn't have it linked up to my I didn't have it on like my computer account or through EA, my EA account.
Whatever place they wanted it.
Yeah, wherever I got it. So I had one. I had a good one from 2, but I think you don't, because I think I booted that one up too just to double check what it gave me for the 1 stuff, and it doesn't give you a romance at all for 1, and like you get rid of the old council and some other stuff, and I'm just like, whatever, I'll just grab 1 just so I have that stuff.
That's fair.
So
I really liked what Dragon Age did. It was like the tower or something like that. I don't know what they called it.
It was the keep.
The keep, yeah.
Yeah.
It was some sort of medieval building.
Yeah, I think they had one for They might have actually had one for Mass Effect 3, but closed it down.
Oh,
Really? For picking all the stuff and whatnot, right? Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Dragon Age 2 for that?
Or Dragon Age, no, Inquisition.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, for Inquisition to have all the choices and whatnot.
I barely played Inquisition.
Yeah.
I almost spent more time in the keep than I did in Inquisition.
Oof.
That's not actually true, but I really didn't play very much Inquisition.
I mean, I remember spending a lot of time at camp in Dragon Age 1. Like,
yeah.
I think with all the dialogue options.
But keep is like an on their website. You went there and picked all the stuff.
So,
it wasn't like it wasn't in game. It wasn't your in game keep. It was just called the keep.
I was so confused.
yeah. That's why I had to like start being like, wait, for picking all your options from the previous games. Yeah.
Yeah, because they like switch platforms or something like that, or like where like they went from Steam to Origin, they had no way to carry everything over properly, and so they made this big online website you could go to like upload your stuff, or make a new save file that would like you could go through every single game and pick just about every choice. There were some that were skipped.
Well, it was every big choice like that had
That
like
one
a
that would
lasting
really
effect.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pick
that makes
everything
sense.
and import that into Inquisition to have like your ideal world state.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I really appreciated that they did that, just because I don't think I actually was. Yeah, I didn't have them until like way after Inquisition came out. I wasn't able to get the other two games, so it was nice to be able to play Inquisition with like a kind of file.
Yeah, plus I never finished Dragon Age 2.
Yeah. I started.
I did.
Yeah, I started it. I don't think I ever finished. I watched another one of our friends beat it though. Beat both of them.
I beat the first one and Awakening, but I never got like there's like one really important DLC. I think I never got.
I don't know, because I think I thought Awakening was the only really big DLC for them.
I think Awakening had like there's one where like Morgan comes back. The whole
Yeah, that's the DLC for Dragon Age 1.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was Awakening though. I'm wrong.
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
My bad. I didn't play Awakening or watched it because I don't think.
And that whole DLC adventure, by the way, was kind of bullshit because Morgan only really shows up at the end. Like the whole time you're basically hunting her down, and then you come across her again finally in the Tevinter ruins that you first find. Oh God, who was it?
I don't know. It's been so long.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
same.
it really has.
I'm sure AJ would know.
Yeah.
You don't find any of the main characters there, but you find an elf mage in there
Mm-hmm.
in that particular DLC adventure line, and he takes you back to the Mage Tower to find out more information about it, and then you go on a quest to find Flemeth's grimoire and all this other stuff. Her real grimoire or whatever. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting one as far as like the DLC for that game goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wish it were a little bit longer and like actually had more Morrigan in it. Or really just even answered the actual only question that fucking matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do a bit more of that. I think they finally do that in Inquisition, but yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They do a lot of stuff with Morgan and Flemeth.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much your kid actually comes up though. I don't know. Maybe ask AJ if I remember.
It depends. Your kid, it does. It can't. If you have the kid, it comes up a lot in the last bit.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, Morgan becomes your advisor and whatnot. So. Yeah.
Yeah, but Liliana's still best girl.
In Inquisition, she kind of flies off the handles. Not gonna lie, she is fucking nuts.
I mean, she's a redhead. What do you expect?
But yeah. Trying to think back to Mass Effect. Like what else was I thinking about? So yeah, other than the glitches and stuff, like it was pretty fun to go through all these different places, get different factions together, kind of make them cooperate, and finally have the final fight with the Roopers. Though a little bit of the just giant death lasers that I was easily able to dodge during like the middle section of the game, just killing everybody is kind of sad and hilarious. Because they have this like boss fight section with you getting laser targeting onto one and dodging its huge beam firing right at you, and it's funny that nobody can dodge it. Nobody else, only Shepard. Shepard's the only one skilled enough.
And no one else is as elite as you are.
You know it. But yeah. So yeah, I guess that's my roundup of my thoughts for it. I was tempted to do another playthrough, mostly just to like do, because in the save file I was using, it was I had a previous romance with Liara as well, and in the beginning, I don't know if I talked about it last time, but you get to tell her at the beginning of 3 whether or not you still want to be with your romance from 2 or her. I think there's also DLC for 2 that also gives you more options if you romance the Liara, basically, or I guess gives you the option again, but to romance her again in 2. I think there's a DLC for that.
Yep.
Yeah, which I didn't have when I played it, so because I just had the regular game.
I just played the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, I had the Steam version of 2 is what I think I played, which didn't have a DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I had just like the default Mass Effect 1 import.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has your romance Ashley, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no, it has your, or does it? Because in 3 it says it romances no one.
I think if you import it, if you have it into 2 though. I feel
yeah, you imported one from 1 and you romanced Ashley in 1.
No, if you go default into 2, it has your romance Ashley.
Okay, because I think that might have also been my problem with 2. Because again,
I feel like she was mad at me at some point.
That's great. Oh boy.
I feel like that's just how Jake deals with like women in general. I think that she was mad at me at some point. I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, I tempted to redo 3 though with Liara, like choosing Liara at the beginning, because she's an actual teammate for the rest of the game. So I feel there's a lot more, that would actually change like dialogue wise throughout the game if I romance Liara. So might be worth playing again for. I might just not, and I'm gonna. If I don't, I'm gonna go into Andromeda. Try to see how that is still. But yeah. So
I'd pick Tally for 2 and 3.
Tally. Oh, nice. Yeah, Tally had some really good dialogue. Also, I don't know if it's only if you romance her, but Miranda did not make it to the end of 3 for me.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
I don't remember.
I don't know what constitutes her surviving or not, but
have to romance her for her to survive.
Okay, yeah. Interesting, because I know
I wanted to, but I couldn't, and I forget why. I think it passed one of the check markers, and it just fucking I could never go back.
Yeah.
I think there's one moment where you like need a surprisingly high amount of Paragon or Renegade or something like that.
Well, I had a ton of Paragon. I was the pinnacle of Paragon.
Exactly. I was always full Paragon, and it never came up.
Yeah, clearly you need full Renegade.
Apparently, she likes the fucking bad boys, dude.
I guess so.
Yeah,
that's fine. I didn't pick her in 2. I didn't pick her in 3. So. But yeah. So yeah, on to Mass Effect related. I played a very bad game. Not a very bad game, but it's not a good game. So I don't know if you've seen the ads for it around. I've seen a couple of them and thought it would be hilarious to play and then talk about for this. The Chex Quest game.
Oh god.
So I think this is like I'm guessing it's a port because the full title is Chex Quest HD. So I'm guessing there was a Chex Quest game that was made forever ago and they like redid the sprites. But you. But I saw.
I love that they decided to make an updated version. Like it was gonna do better.
Yeah, like it was gonna sell, or like it's free. It's free. That's the other reason why I got it. It's free. So they're gonna get a bunch of people interested in Chex Mix.
Like okay, so I was wondering this whole time. Like, are we talking like Chex Mix?
Yeah. Like the Chex Mix are these group of I don't know, space defender something. I can't.
Oh, this is great. This is starting off awesome.
It started off strong and just continued to be. Honestly, could not continue being strong, but tried its best, I think. So
is it everything that the Captain Crunch Adventure game was?
I couldn't tell you. I only played a little bit of that. But yeah, basically what this is it's a top to bottom like Doom clone in 2020.
Oh boy.
You run around, you occasionally get new I'm guessing they're new. It could just be getting armor, but like little checks like actual like checks piece body armor things, cuz he basically wears a suit that kind of splits open at the top for his face, cuz he also has a face under being
oh god, why?
checks. Yeah. And so like you occasionally get those, and you get upgrade different remotes, which are guns that and I quote, Zorch the enemies.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Do I have to? It means to Zorch. That's exactly that's what it does. That's what it is.
Have you ever zorched your opponents?
Zorched your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. I hope not.
That has been happening.
I forget what the enemies are called, but they're basically phlegm. And so it's really confusing that a piece of Chex is fighting enemies made from milk. But, you know what?
Go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly. You think that they would actually use this as a weapon.
They're fighting off the inevitability that they will eventually all get soggy and die.
Yeah. There is a level that I only played like a handful of levels. So there's also like 8, I don't know how many it is. It's like either 8 or 10 levels of each individual character in the Chex Mix crew. And there's like 6 of them. So there's a lot of running around and doing basic Doom stuff. And for people who don't know, basically you run around grabbing keys, open doors, grab another key, open another door, get to the end of the level, hit the button, go to the next level, rinse and repeat. I
have a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there or is there not a gun made of pretzel?
No, there is a pretzel, who is one of the Chex Mix crew. But all of your weapons are close to them. There's one that isn't, but they're all a remote. That Zorch the enemy.
I'm out. I can't. No.
So the other funny thing is, there are different remotes basically. That one is a pistol that you get at the beginning. You get what is close to a shotgun, but not really, where it just is a higher damage remote that has a different ammo type, and then you get a minigun, which is it uses the first ammo of the regular remote, and then you get another Gatling gun that has a different ammo than everything else. And I think I at the end of playing, and I gave up, I'm pretty sure I got a rocket launcher that has another different ammo.
Oh my god.
So they have a lot of different weapons that are all just Doom weapons but remotes that Zorch the enemy instead of killing them.
Must always remember.
Must always remember. You must Zorch the enemy. There is a percentage completion for the amount of phlegm monsters that you have Zorched. So it is important.
Oh boy.
Get that high score, baby. That I will never try for, and will probably immediately after this podcast get rid of it from my PC.
Oh, good.
It's important to remember, though, we're not committing murder.
We're not committing murder. There's no murder. There is
for everyone.
Nobody could possibly be traumatized or triggered because we use the fictional word of Zorch.
The creation of the word Zorch will do that on its own, but. I thought it would be
We
great.
can't teach children that we can fucking have them scorch people or zap people. Oh, I know. What's the word between those two? Zorch.
Zorch. And it's not people. Remember, these are not people. These are
Right,
alien phlegm creatures. that look a mix between what is his name? The giant purple guy from McDonald's. What is it? Grimace? Grimace. It's a mixture between Grimace and fucking an elephant. They have like a weird snooty thing. Oh, and some of them have one eye and are in basically UFOs with arms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, it was hilarious that on the first level, I only missed like maybe 3 or 4 shots, but I almost ran out of ammo on the first level.
Wow.
It was great game design. I forgot one other thing. Actually, I forgot one other thing. I didn't learn about this until like halfway through playing it. That if you do run out of ammo, they also give you a spoon with unlimited ammo that you just kind of stab at things. And that's the best feature of the game.
You'd have a no ammo spoon only.
Spoon only runs. Let's go.
Oh my god, yes.
You would so lose that game though, because the way they actually hit you is kind of stupid, especially for some of the later enemies.
My god, but it's so good.
It would be amazing.
Oh my god. It's like the hardest speedrun ever.
Yes. So last thing I have for my stuff that I've been doing this past couple weeks is I've been watching a game that actually came out today of the recording, and that's Monster Train, which is a new like PvE card game. Kind of like Slay the Spire, but it's like a minimalist tower defense plus card game plus like Slay the Spire, and it is really dope looking. Also, like I'm pretty sure, if I remember hearing right, there is a multiplayer version of it.
Ooh.
You can play it with multiple people. So
it says online PvP.
Oh, is it PvP? Okay, I wasn't 100% sure. I just know it said multiplayer. So okay.
Yeah, I just turned on, open up the Steam page. It's a single player, and this is online PvP.
Okay, dang. That would be dope if they gave you like a double train.
I was expecting more train though. Like, I'm not really seeing the train.
The thing you fight on is a train.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're
on a train.
You're on a train.
And you're fighting monsters.
Yeah, hence the monster train. Yeah. Yeah, they kind of, you're going through like this weird, I think it looks like layers of hell or something, or going from, because you start in purgatory. I remember that. But yeah, like, so you fight.
On the front page.
Yeah.
Yeah, train to hell.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you go to hell and things try to stop you from getting there.
How nice. How kind of them.
I know, right? Yep.
I hope on my journey to hell there are things in the way that tempt me to stop from getting there.
Yep, 25. I don't know if it's just for today or this week or whatever, but I know it's 20% off for me.
I know most of the releases on Steam.
Yeah, it's 20% off for me as well.
Okay, cool. So yeah. Yeah, I really want to play that because it looks super good. And Slay the Spire. So yeah. Mike, do you want to go next?
Sure.
All right.
So recently I decided to download the new My Hero. Well,
no.
I don't know.
I still think it's the first one.
Yeah, My Hero's Justice. Let me see it.
Yeah.
One's Justice.
Yeah, My Hero One's Justice. The My Hero Academia fighting game. I've played through like the first 6 chapters, which isn't super hard. Like it's at the very beginning. which is up to the Stain fight. Like, I'm about to fight Stain as Todoroki, who is the third person in said fight. And then after that, I think it's going to try and quote-unquote teach me the support mechanics, or the sidekick mechanic, and have all three of them fight Stain.
Especially has to come up,
yeah, it's the tutorial system in it is very like long. It's the first thing you do is you fight Gran Torino, and you have this giant, obnoxious box of commands, basically, and you have to hit every single command before you can move on to the next stage. And the whole time, Gran Torino's just fucking tossing you around his goddamn house. I'm just like,
Sounds
what the
right.
fuck, man? Let me do what I need to do. Fuck you. Like, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, and the reason is, right, like, one of the things you have to do is block and counter. Those are two of the things you have to do. So you have to be able to be attacked in order for that to happen. But like, for somebody who's not well versed in fighting games, like, I can see that being such a frustrating experience.
Yeah, most fighting games have them switch stages. Like, they'll at first just stand there and let you attack them, and then when it comes time to block or counter, then they'll attack you.
Right, they'll let you do it one at a time, and then they'll have you do a real practice match where you use everything you quote unquote learn, right? But no, this game fucking, like,
Not here.
here you go. I'm just gonna drop a fucking tornado in the middle of the room and let you go at it.
Plus Ultra.
Always plus ultra.
Oh my god. Oh, and the best part is that one of All Might's lines in the game is the Japanese. It's all in Japanese, and there's English subtext if you want it, but it's the "Oh my goodness" line. But he says it in his Japanese voice, and it's so good. I wasn't expecting it at all. I was like, oh my god, I love it so much. I love it already, and I've barely played 15 minutes of this game. Dobby is surprisingly broken. Like, Dobby, Todoroki, and Bakugo all seem pretty good. Well, like, so Bakugo's extremely mobile. Like, him and Ida are actually two of the most high mobile in aerial heroes that I've played so far.
So
And that was really surprising to me that Ida was. Like, it made sense that Bakugo was, because he's in the show shown to be very mobile in the air. But Ida is fucking fast. And, like, his aerial control is super good.
The only thing is that
he's fast. Yeah.
Right. I know that, but like, you wouldn't expect somebody who just uses their legs to like have such good aerial control.
Yeah, aerial's a little surprising.
Deku has really good dash coverage. They all have pretty decent dash coverage, but like, I've tried a bunch of different people so far. The one that I like the most, which is a little surprising to me, I think, is Kirishima, because they have a flinching mechanic, or rather a super armor mechanic in the game, and Kirishima doesn't have a ranged attack. So in place of that, they were just like, we'll just give him a super armor button, so that he, temporarily got super armor, doesn't need to do any special combos or timing. And I was like, God damn, that's broken.
It used to make sense for his quirk, though.
Huh?
It totally fits.
It used to make sense for his quirk, though.
Oh yeah, 100% it does. But like, it's so funny to me that that's the thing they chose to do. They didn't like, he could just grab fucking pieces of cement and chuck it across the arena. No, instead he just gets permanent super armor. It's totally fine. Because there's no limit on it either. Like, you can just mash it and keep
pressing,
super armor. Yeah. And the combo that you use with it as well is just, it does so much damage. Like, he's slower, technically when he's using it, so you can boost up into somebody's face, super armor combo, and then while you're on them, just smash them into the pavement as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that so far has been my favorite one.
Yeah. I know or I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, a lot of their like final, like in 2, they have final moves and stuff where it's like they become like the new forms that you get in the show for the newest season.
Yeah, they get final moves as well, and it's like it's up to the epitome of what they had achieved at the point that the game was made.
Yeah.
Like Deku gets his full cowling up to 15%. All Might uses United States of Smash.
So unfair.
So,
that would be so
unfair. It don't do the same amount of damage, but like.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair for balance perspective, but really though, if he was to use that,
really going on. Yeah. Aizawa, I haven't really seen what he does for his ultimate yet, but his standard special is pretty strong. It's just like the flurry combo after he grabs somebody, just starts annihilating them. He's also surprisingly fast. He's got really good counter combos, which makes sense for the type of hero that he is. Uraraka is the same way, kind of. Like, I feel like she can be extremely broken because she has this, for one of her super armored abilities, it's a touch combo that floats her opponent, so they're kind of like stunned, and then she can follow them up and do she like grabs the pillar from like season 1 and just starts spinning it around and smacking them, and they can't do anything about it. But that combo is like, it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. So
gotcha.
I don't know. I like Uraraka, but she seems kind of tricky. Her aerial is surprisingly not very good. Like you'd think the gravity chick would have one of the best aerial combats in the game. Nope.
Yeah, no, I can see her being more of a grapple.
Yeah, that's kind of what she is.
Which is why when you said that, I was like, yeah, no, that kind of makes sense. That she should have some utility in air, but mostly it's gonna be grapple combos.
Also, where in the world is my boy Shoji? Okay, Shoji's not in this game. Mineta's not in the game. Oh god, Cero's not in the game. Fucking, there's like half the class isn't even there.
Yeah, well, I mean,
maybe you unlock them later on, but so far the only
could be
that I can see that you can unlock is One for All.
I mean, it still come up as much in like that first part, I suppose.
They really don't.
Yeah.
But like, I'm still surprised that Jiro is in the game, and like.
Yeah, she has some moments in I think where that was, but yeah,
I put her in Endeavor. Like, they had other pros they could have put in that had been there up until that point. Like Endeavor was already on his way to being the new #1 hero at the time.
It might be that they're unlocked, but I don't know.
I know Endeavor
present like him instead.
I'm pretty sure Endeavor shows up, but
yeah, he shows up, but he's not. I don't
playable.
Think he's
Again, I don't know. I can't really look right now.
I know in the new one he is, but
maybe
not.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, so.
I would hope they have a bigger roster for the second one.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. They definitely do.
Like, you remember the old Naruto game on the GameCube, the first one?
No.
Yeah, with the GameCube? I'm not sure of the GameCube one specifically. I know I played most of them back in the day, though.
Oh my god. So the original one came out before Shippuden, and it had Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Zabuza, Haku, Rock Lee, who was an unlockable character, and I'm forgetting somebody. No, not Iruka. Iruka came out in the next one. What the fuck was it?
Got Rock Lee. Do we have Neji in it yet? He was around that
No,
same time.
Neji wasn't there yet. Because the only reason why Rock Lee was there is because it was right before the Chunin exam.
Okay,
So, like,
yeah, he just showed up a little earlier than that.
Yeah. Who else was? I forget. Anyway, the whole roster was like 10 to 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, there's so many characters they could put in. And then the next one they came out with, like, double the amount of people they put in. I was like, oh shit, all the teams are here. Wait a minute. And then some of them had like double characters. So like Iruka could also swap to be that one white-haired dude from the very beginning that was trying to steal the scroll.
Oh yeah.
I forget his name. But yeah, so like the two of them, like he was basically an alternate skin for Iruka. But yeah, so I think that's kind of what they did, or what I hope they did.
Yeah.
I haven't played the second one yet, or if it's even out.
It is.
Yeah, it came out surprisingly fast after the other one.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna.
I think it's been 2 years. I think it's been a year or two. Like they probably haven't done two.
It didn't just come out though.
One?
No, the second one.
Yeah, 2 just came out. Like
did it?
a couple weeks ago. like maybe a couple months. Maybe a couple months, but it feels like it was only like a few weeks. Yeah, no, it's definitely been a month or two. Yeah.
Let's see. Came out March 12th.
So yeah, 2 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited to finish playing this one, and then I'll start playing 2.
Yeah. Hopefully there's more unlocks. It's probably more unlocks, I'd imagine. But we'll see.
Yeah. There's $20 of DLC for the second one.
Or no, for the first one. I mean, for the first one, I'm hoping at least in that one there's more unlockable characters.
There's
as
at least one for all. That for sure I know. I'm hoping there's more for unlocks, but to be fair, to get through all the characters that they already have in the game, like it would be a lot of game time.
Okay, well maybe. I don't know.
So like, because they've got Tsuyu, Kaminari, Jiro, Yamamoto, Ida, Todoroki, Deku, Uraraka, Bakugo, Kirishima. They've got Aizawa in All Might and Gran Torino. And then they've got, for the villains, they've got like Dobby, Toga, Muscle, fucking Tomura, and then One for All. I think
also you've been saying one for all, it's all for one.
All right, all for one.
We got All Might in there twice.
Yep. Double All Might. Boom.
Yeah.
No, it's not All Might. It's just the spirit of All for One, One for All. It itself, and so you just switch between all.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's actually his sensei that came back from the dead to whoop his ass because he's being a dead chick.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, no, I'm super excited because like that's still a lot of people.
Yeah, that's okay. That's still good because you're using like half the class. Like it sounded like, or because it is only like a couple of the pro heroes and then a handful of the evil league of evil. So I wasn't sure how many that actually adds up to, but yeah, cool.
And then as far as anything else that I've been playing, I've been playing more League. I'm excited for the volley update. I think it's finally hitting PvE now. They did an event for it a little while ago.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much to the event. I was kind of sad. I was hoping
Yeah.
like it would be more than just him kind of chilling there, but that doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be the case.
Yeah. Just occasionally in ARAMs he'll be there, watching, waiting,
Judging.
always judging.
Oliver will see you feed.
Yep.
He's also gonna fucking knock your ass up, so you get cucked in the worst possible way.
Oof.
But did he knock you up or does he not?
No, he does.
No, he
So,
does,
once
okay.
he finally shows up, he knocks up everybody.
Okay.
Okay, so he does participate a little bit.
A little bit.
The one time, and
Yeah,
does
the one
like
time
nothing.
he doesn't show up any other time during the match. He doesn't get bigger as you find him more like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It
just
it was kind of disappointing. The
Yeah.
emote is cool, but it's also, it looks like the fucking Coca-Cola bear from.
I think that would probably be the point, though.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm
I
like,
wouldn't
Rito,
spend-
why?
Some of my blue essence to get him now, so I can get that like Eldritch version of him.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, look what I have him.
Yeah, the bonus skin is pretty hype.
Ooh, cool. I haven't seen the new skin. I just thought he would have like a traditional skin like usual.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
Nah, I play League like a handful of times a month, maybe, and I don't really keep up anymore. I used to keep up on patch notes, but now I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't been patched with notes in a long time.
Yeah, I used to just be like, how are they fucking up their game now? Or hopefully, unfucking it, but I doubt that's happening.
Actually, it's not too bad right now. The big news about League right now is just the Boy video and fucking TSM and Lena being.
Oh yeah, the Lena things.
Oh god.
Oh, the
The
Lena
Lena
things.
Jake, have you been following this? Because I feel like I should inform you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
What is a Lena?
I wish I didn't know.
So,
That's the
Wendigo.
Yeah.
So Lena is the current president and former girlfriend of Andy, who is the owner
Reginald.
of TSM. Reginald, yes. Of the TSM brand. She is currently the president of TSM and is now dating Doublelift. Doublelift got kicked off of Team Liquid and is now back with TSM, but everybody was super up in arms about it because they're like, oh man, this is a fucking huge conflict of interest. And a lot of the people defended it because they were like, yeah, but where was Doublelift really going to go realistically anyway? They finally have Biofrost again. They've got Bjergsen, who would definitely take him back, in a heartbeat. TSM is where he performed probably one of the best times in his career, short of his first season on Team Liquid.
Yep, I was gonna say I think it was the next season when he was on Liquid.
Yep, the next season when he was on Liquid. And I was like, and even casters, fucking analysts, people were like, yeah, realistically, where would Doublelift go? TSM. Even if Lena wasn't there, TSM. Lena could be in Europe or something, and he'd probably still go to TSM.
Either she was on a different team, he probably still would have gone to TSM.
Yeah, exactly, because he wouldn't go to a trash team. If she was on Dignitas, what would he do? Go to Dignitas? Fuck no.
He's a professional. He's out here for the love of the game.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But the problem lies in that on one of Doublelift's streams, Lena was talking about TSM business, and it was leaked that nobody wanted to pick up Dardoch. Nobody wanted to pick up Dardoch, and it's an issue because not only does that put out there that Dardoch doesn't have a team willing to pick him up, it's that he's definitely getting benched, and the fact that it's because largely that Doublelift is on the team to begin with. Dardoch and Doublelift don't have good blood from the times that they played together on any team. On top of the fact that the only reason why it was leaked is because Alina was right next to him when she was on the phone with some executives. Like,
yeah, I heard about that.
Okay.
I sort of heard about this. Like how, yeah, I didn't hear I guess super correctly, but I heard that during some kind of stream, some higher ups in TSM were overheard talking bad about a player, and someone had to go and clean up that mess.
Oh yeah, and then she goes on to say in an official Twitter post that this isn't even the first time it's happened.
I mean, that's been a thing for honestly for a long while, where things would be picked up in streams of the players for a pro team that probably shouldn't be there because they're in a streamer house.
You should be more aware of where cameras might be near you.
Or who's been who is streaming. There obviously should be a schedule on when they can be streaming and who would be. So because I know even back when Reggie did stream, he would say some dumb things back in the old days. So
that's not anything new.
But exactly, that's what I'm saying. He would be on stream, something would be going on next to him, and he would say something. He's like, "Whoops," so it's nothing new.
It's been adding fire to the Holy War because there's two people in particular that just did not want this to happen at all because they were barred from doing a similar thing by Riot, and they feel like because it's Doublelift, that Riot is going to let it happen.
Who do you know who was?
Oh God, what the fuck was his name? I'm gonna look it up real quick. You guys.
Okay. Yeah, because right now it's other than any previous time these kinds of things would happen, I wouldn't see any problem with it, generally speaking. Even if Dardoch is the thing is, it wasn't even just her saying, because we have Doublelift, we are benching him. If it was more about just he doesn't have a team, whatever. These are technically.
Sorry. Mm-hmm. It was Monty and Thorin.
Okay.
Thorin is a. I want to say he's a team owner.
I don't know. I'm guessing these are EU.
No. They're NA.
Oh, really? When was this then?
This was forever ago. This was back in
was it
back in season 5?
Really? I don't even remember either of these names in NA.
Senior esports creator, esports content creator, leaving Team Acer.
I swear this.
Oh, he was. Oh, he is from EU.
I thought so. Those sounded more like things that I thought EU names.
But Monty, I was pretty sure was.
No, or was it Monte Cristo or whatever?
Yeah, I think.
He did stuff for. He was a caster for Korea or China. Primarily.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I remember him now.
You forget? Yeah, he was he kind of was just a deal for because because of the stuff with SKT back in the day where he was super hyping them up and then they just kept bashing the teams during the worlds. So right. and there was some other stuff between him and other casters, stuff like that. There was just a lot of drama around him. It was one of the bigger problems.
Yeah. So. But anyway, the two of them have been the biggest naysayers to the whole deal happening.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Also, Monte Cristo hates Doublelift. I'm pretty sure I remember that too. So it's
yeah.
it's like I again from back then or whatever, I don't see a problem with them, doing it back then, because I think the thing was he might have been either a team owner or a coach on a team, I forget.
Yeah, he was coach.
Yeah, okay. So, but yeah, I wouldn't see any real big fraud. Well, maybe some problems if he was a coach on the team with them, but at the same time, I wouldn't care too much. Like, until problems arose, in which case, then you shut it down. But that's just generally my stance on anything, so.
But I mean, like, there were NA casters talking about it, too. It was like Kobe,
I bet like everybody has something to say on it.
And somebody else. And they were like, you really can't coach that team now, because like Doublelift is on that team. He's dating the president and the CEO. He already has history, and like he's one of the best players in North America.
Yeah.
You have Bjergsen, who's now a part owner of the company, on top of like being the best player in North America. Yeah, he's a part owner.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah,
he's never leaving CSO.
Oh, I bet.
How do you own yourself, though? That's kind of.
Well, you see, when you're the Burger King, you get these privileges.
I mean, Andy did it technically.
Yeah, yeah. He did it as well. So.
Good old Reginald.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing though. He with Lena owning the company or whatever, but she isn't like coaching them.
No, but that team is kind of uncoachable, because like if somebody has a problem with Doublelift on that team, he's basically untouchable. Or Bjergsen.
Well, yeah, but it is, but it isn't. Again, it just you can still, but it's down to professionality, like how professional.
The idea is that in a vacuum, the professionalism is there, and they will take the criticisms, as directed from the coach, because it's the coach's job. But like in practice, if they really wanted to, they could tell you to fuck off, and nothing would happen to them.
I mean, that's the same with any coach in any team.
The coach technically doesn't have all that kind of power.
Yeah, like he's
usually coaches have more power over that thing.
Yeah,
they could go to the owner. Like, the question is, like, he could go to the owner, and in this case, the owner might not do anything.
Yeah, but that's the true of any job. Like, you tell any boss, like, yo, I don't like that this guy does this stuff wrong. And you can see, like, shut the fuck up. Like, anybody has that power. So but
I guess allegedly more likely.
It's more likely that they wouldn't, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, bosses have favorites. Deal with it, like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, I know. It is, yeah. So it's like, but yeah, that's where a lot of their arguments can come from, where there is obvious bias going into your job that there isn't normally present or publicized in other jobs. Cool.
Right.
So it's harder to do. Like again, it's up to whoever wants to actually like deal with coaching that team or whatever, if anybody does. So it's something they have to think about. But yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's like that. As far as like the esports aspect of it goes, it's irrelevant to the actual gameplay. So I'm hyped for
Volleyball.
Same.
Yeah, I'm hyped for that skin. I don't.
Yeah, that skin.
Yeah, has there been the info on his kit?
They've done videos on it already. No. He's on the PvE, but I think they took out his flip. Is what I was.
They did.
Wow.
It's a stun.
Okay.
It's a stun. It's just an outright stun.
I think so. It's either that or a root. I think it's a stun. He runs up to you and stuns you.
Interesting. That's kind of disappointing, but at the same time, pretty strong. I
mean, I don't know. I'd actually prefer the flip.
It's technically weaker because you still get the.
Prefer the flip.
Yeah, because the unable to do stuff is still the same amount of time probably. So it's just
what's next? They're gonna take out fucking Singed flip like.
Nah, Singed isn't. Well, technically, Volibear isn't really. Or was he played?
Volibear's been played, yeah. Volibear's been he's not a top tier jungler. He's like a low grade jungler.
Because like I know Olaf's been a thing lately, but I don't remember Volley.
The S tier list kind of went Echo, Silas, Kane, Elise, and Olaf. And then the A list was Evelyn, or no, Evelyn was S tier also, I think. I think
she's around there, yeah.
Evelyn and Lee Sin were both up there as well. And then the A tier list went something like Nunu, fucking Graves for a while. Now he's S tier because Phase Rush is apparently busted, even though I've never once gotten it to work. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
Set's also kind of S tier right now, although he's dropped to A tier, I think. And then Zach's A tier. Sejuani and Trundle were A tier. Gragas was A tier. And it's like those were more or less the top end. Carthage is still there because he's omnipresent as a fucking one trick. Fiddlesticks is kind of OP in the jungle. He's got one of the fastest clears in the game.
Yeah, I've seen some of his gameplay. It's super good. Oh, Nib?
Yeah, they buffed her like last patch.
Gotcha.
They also interesting. There was a weird tweak to Caitlyn's W. Or it was a bug fix. Enemy champions will now properly be immune to W after the Yordle snap trap for a short duration after triggering one. So like there was a bug for a little bit where if you stepped on one and then you stepped on the next one, it would immediately
yeah.
And it was fucking people at big time.
Oh, I bet that sounds like cancer.
But
yeah.
Oh no, wait, they didn't. Maybe it was last patch.
It might have been patch before. Not sure.
They buffed people.
Yeah.
As they do.
As
they
they
buff
do.
people, they nerf people.
They also nerfed a bunch of people, but like the champions that they nerfed were only are only really a problem in the upper echelons. That's not entirely true. Like Aatrox and Diana can be abused at pretty much almost any level, but Fizz, Kassadin, Orianna, and Yasuo are like high skill cap champions. Orianna not so much, but the other three for sure. And then there's Yuumi, who definitely needs more than what she got nerfed. But
Yuumi was too strong. They keep nerfing her up and down.
Like Yuumi's a pain in the ass. So like
I remember she was pretty good, and then like they nerfed her, and then they buffed her, but in different ways, and then.
Well, originally she could never be targeted by turrets. They finally fixed that.
That can't have been fixed that recently, because I know I got killed a bunch of times for being targeted by turrets.
Nah, when she first came out, she couldn't be targeted by turrets. It would target the champion that she was sitting on, which is kind of fucked for whoever's diving. But
I know that definitely wasn't in the game for very long, because I definitely got killed by turrets.
But it was annoying enough that it still fucking grumbled today. Her W is extremely strong. She can. Yuumi is like this weird mix between either half a champion or two champions. Never in between. And I don't know if that's just like the skill gap between players on Yuumi, or if that's just like the fluctuation in the buffs and nerfs.
I think it's a lot of the buffs and nerfs, because like A lot of times it feels like she's pretty useless outside of her ultimate.
Oh no, her Q scale's fucking hard.
Maybe now. There's been times when it doesn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'll be in lane against a Yumi, I'll get fucking chunked constantly, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, they probably buffed it again then.
Yeah, because I remember before the base damage was pretty high with it when she first came out, and then I played her I think mildly recently, like a few months ago, and it felt like she did absolutely no damage. And so I'm guessing they rebuffed it.
Probably.
Yeah, there was definitely a period of time wherein they reduced her damage pretty dramatically, but upped her heal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they nerfed the heal.
Yep.
And
so
they nerfed the heal because didn't it originally also give mana?
No. It gave movement. It's just movement speed heal.
No, I knew that.
Yeah, that's all.
They never give mana.
Nope.
Not unless there was like a very small period where they buffed that in.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I just remember there was something else about it.
Give Soraka's heal mana as well, please. Thank you. If you can give it to the fucking cat, please give it back to the champion.
They've actually have they ever had a heal that restores the person you're healing mana?
No, they had they had Soraka.
It wasn't her healing, giving the mana.
She
healed, gave her mana back.
No, it was that when she.
Not Soraka.
Yumi. Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what it was.
So when she hit people.
No, when she healed, whenever she used her heal, she got some mana back.
Weird. Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
I don't think that was ever the case. But
it was something like that.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't.
It doesn't really matter.
But yeah,
really.
No, it was
supposed to have a spell in her kit that just gave people damage.
Yeah, or you could damage an enemy with it.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep, that was her old E.
Yeah,
it was a silence. It was a silence and damage, targeted or a targeted heal.
Mana.
Mana. Yeah. You're right. But yeah, I miss.
And also, she used to be able to heal herself, so.
Mm-hmm. She can still heal herself.
Kinda with her ult.
No, with her Q.
Yeah, their Q.
That too.
Yep.
But like, it's not healing.
It's not much. It's not much, honestly. But yeah.
Also, I miss her old Q so much.
I'm not gonna lie. I just miss her old kit, like the full thing.
Her old kit was so good. I don't know.
It's because one, getting rid of mana across the board was a thing.
That's true. Anybody who had any kind of mana, got hit.
Yeah, spamming AOE around you damage every second.
They took out clarity in Summoner's Rift, and there's no mana potions. The only way you get any kind of mana regen is through biscuits and the fucking blue buff. That's it.
Yeah, and
items.
And the items that just give straight up mana. It's either you get straight up mana or you get some regen. There's a couple.
Right, but you have to build into those. You can't just
it's not consumable. Yeah, there's no consumable that well.
Yeah.
No. They do. They do have corrupting potion, which does give you mana. So they do.
Yeah, corrupting potion gives you mana.
Starting goal too.
Yeah. So they have that. So they have one way. They didn't take away every way, but yeah.
God damn near.
Yeah. True facts. But yeah. So.
Which means that the cooldown based health tank bullies get to fucking play in lane all day.
Yep. It's a lot of them, right? Like I feel.
Yeah, like Aatrox, Garen, Gnar, fucking Riven,
Akali,
Renekton.
Akali's not a tank, but Akali's got her own resource.
Manaless.
Energy.
Can be a berserker.
Yeah, Zed too.
Yeah. But yeah, so.
And they're hard to balance.
Because they're super high damage. Akali got nerfed again recently too.
I feel like we should probably move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say anything else. Yeah.
No, that's pretty much it. I tried playing a little bit of Fallout 4 again, and I was just like, God.
What?
Why did I ever play this much time into this game?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I get I've put in so many hours into that game, and it's
Yeah, me too.
so it's like it has good ways to keep you engaged. Like more like a lot of things pretty compact, for the most part. And that's I think the biggest thing about it.
One of the only real things that I did is I was there was the Feral Ghoul compound that has like all of the turrets out front, right next to the swamps.
I don't remember.
It's
It's been a while since I've like really trekked around.
Anyway, there was a super mutant that was wandering around in the swamps, and I was like, oh fuck, well I'm just gonna hop back up here behind this railing, and I'm gonna snipe him to death. And it took me like 10 minutes to do because it's got a shit ton of health and I didn't do a lot of damage. But yeah. I was able to finally kill it, and I didn't take a single point of damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like even like because I used a sniper for a little while I was playing, and I felt like it didn't do any, like that much damage. Because I think it had like 55 damage. I want to say like DPS or whatever, and like very few things like I've seen really get up there close to 100. And I've heard like there's some item like I've heard there's like an item or two that are like 150 or so, and I'm just like, where can I get one of these? Like Jesus.
For real.
Yeah. Like all legendary items are all just garbage. Like they don't even sell for much more than really worth carrying.
Buy them, you have to spend so many fucking caps.
Yeah, usually. Even when you buy those, it wasn't even that much. But yeah, it's kind of stupid how that game, like the progression for like the last quarter to half of the game is very boring, especially if you do a lot of side questing and exploration. Like playing more of the game is punishing. It punishes you for playing more.
Right. Well, like the best way to get the really heavy hitting items is to upgrade your crafting all the way.
Well, even then, like it was like the sniper rifle I had was pretty close to like the end of the crafting stuff, like the crafting levels, and it
you get up to like 70 or 80.
Yeah, probably. Like again, this was like halfway through my run or whatever, like where I could. It was only like 55, and it was a legendary. So like I might have been able to like upgrade it twice, but yeah, so I could get up to 70 and it could hit from a range, but it's like still slow hitting. Like I had from one of the DLCs, you can get a radiation infused mallet hammer or super sledge. That's the one.
Right.
And that one dealt like 95, like I think total 95 damage or whatever. And so its DPS was, and since it was swinging a bunch, its DPS was pretty high. But the guard system in that is so annoying that it would just take me forever of wailing on people, and usually they would get hits in on me instead because I would like recoil a bit. So it's still really stupid. So yeah, and I don't feel like there's maybe it'd be better if I like got like if I had more agility and luck to make crits work better. But yeah, like shooting things still felt like a slog. It was super annoying.
Yeah.
So
I've also never been able to use the VAT system properly.
I always play with low agility runs. So like occasionally it's just me being able to auto hit with that sledgehammer to instantly kill someone. But and that's like all that I could use it for. But yeah, usually it's just like you well, for sniping it's still kind of iffy, but yeah, you just press it for like some almost auto damage. Like occasionally that's all you use it for. So it stops everything while you're doing these things or makes it super slow. So
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I haven't really played any more New Vegas, but that was really fun. I played a little bit more, I think, after last podcast, but I've mostly just been trying to finish Mass Effect. But yeah, there's a lot of good things in that one. So on to Jake.
What I've been doing.
What you doing?
What you been doing?
So my household decided to get into and get the free GTA 5.
Which won't be free by the time we air this, but...
Yeah, I think it maybe just stopped being free as of today, or...
Today or Sunday, one of the two.
It's going to be unfree very soon. But it was free for a while, and it was the premium edition.
Yeah. Oh,
and
I'll also say, because you're talking about it being free, on the Epic Store, if you have the Epic Store installed, check it every week, because they give out free games.
Yeah, that. Like right now, they're giving out GTA 5 for free, the premium edition.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all got that. We all started playing GTA Online. And it's really good. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty amazing, especially with all the free stuff you get from the premium edition. You get a lot of like the end game buildings and stuff. You usually have to spend like $1 mil on each for free.
Oh, really?
As well as they give you a free meal after you play for like 3 days.
Oh, wow.
So it like really helps you just like jumpstart getting to play the fun parts of GTA Online. But the game also spends a lot of time not being good.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I'm like, the only thing I've ever seen on GTA 5 is just people or online, is people just kind of running around saying stupid shit to each other.
That's not even the problem. The other players
yeah.
are never an issue. Like sometimes someone runs up and kills you, and like that's just the way it is. That's just the game. You know, sometimes you run up and shoot them, sometimes they run up and shoot you. It's not too much of a problem usually. The problem is, I don't know if it's just because it's old or what, but the servers are awful.
Oh, really? Like, what about...
It's... So, because it's free, of course, there's a bunch of hackers, first of all.
Okay, oh.
And they're not caught very well. And even if they are caught, like, you just get another copy of the game for free and start over. So it's not common to be in a lobby and just have, like, your screen go black or, like, a UFO spawn on top of your head and, like, you can't, like, see anymore, or... all sorts of like really stupid things happen.
Is that like, are these UFOs like normally in the game, or is it like someone?
It's an asset that exists somewhere.
Okay, and they hack the asset in
to spawn and like match your location. So like whenever you move, it follows with you, and it's like directly placed on top of you, so you can't see from the inside of it. Or just like you'll get killed, like you'll just explode, whatever. Like all sorts of crazy hacker stuff. But the hackers aren't like my biggest issue. Like it's gonna go away once the game becomes you have to pay for it again. The problem is when you get a hacker, you leave that server. That's like your only real solution is you go to a different server. It's not uncommon for us to occasionally have to spend over an hour just trying to get into a server again together.
Wow.
Where like it just won't load us into the server, or like 2 of us get in and the last person just can't get into the server.
That could also just
like,
because of the
full.
Yeah, I was gonna say the amount of people right now, and yeah,
like a server will be full, and like you hit the queue me up to join the server feature whenever like the server isn't full, and that works maybe 1 in 5 times. And just tons of large portions of time being spent unable to enter servers properly.
I did have a question about that. Can you crossplay from Steam to Epic Games, or?
As long as you're on PC, you should be fine. Yeah. If you have it on Steam, you want to play
it's probably all server. Yeah.
Okay.
For right now, I definitely don't want to play it just because of the amount of hackers. It sounds like it'd be awful.
Like we've dumped it a ton of hours. Like the game is amazing. Like 70% of the time.
Well, that's the thing. Just not right now. Just not right now while it's free.
Yeah.
wait about a week or two, and then the servers will have died down because people will probably lose interest and less hackers because they can't get it for free. So. But yeah.
Do you guys both have it on Steam?
No, I got the free one.
Oh,
we talked about this already before, but yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I'd want to get into it or not, but maybe just to like look around and see what it's about. But yeah,
doing the heist together and stuff is also super fun.
Yeah,
It's like 3 different series of heists you can do with 4 people, and involves like a bunch of really cool set pieces and stuff you got to do.
Yeah, I might like look into it like a little bit if I want to, but right now like I wanna like there's a couple other games I want to play on top of because I still have EA access, so I right now have actually Titanfall 2 downloaded and Andromeda, and I think another game, but I forget it. But yeah, there's a few.
I got Titanfall on PC a while back. Not PC, on PS4. They gave it away for free.
Oh yeah.
I played the multiplayer for like a couple of days. It was pretty good, but there was something weird about it. Something felt kind of off about the multiplayer.
Okay. I'm just gonna play the single player, but yeah.
Yeah, which I've heard is really good.
Yeah, that's why. Like I heard that. Like I was really tempted to try both of them in sequence, but I was like, I'll just get 2 and play through that. So yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so are you just playing the GT Online, and that's different from the single player content?
Yeah, it's completely independent. We haven't even like launched a single player. It forced you to do like the little prologue thing, which is like a cutaway from later in the game. And so you do that, and then we haven't even let it finish the opening cutscene after that. As soon as you can open the menu, you can launch online.
Okay, yeah, because I was curious if online it's you can go through the different story quests and do them or not.
No, yeah, it's entirely a separate thing.
Separate like heist things that are around the city.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it uses the same map, of course, but it's completely independent. A lot of the same characters will show up.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you've been up to lately?
I'm trying to think. I feel like no. At least I'm drawing a blank on what else I've been doing.
Yeah.
Have you played more Legends of Runeterra?
I haven't, actually.
Dropped it immediately. But yeah, I haven't picked it up again either.
Yeah.
I have it downloaded. I've had it downloaded for a long time.
I play every day and get rid of the dailies, but
it just doesn't pull you back in very well. I feel like there's something wrong with how they do rewards. Like I never feel excited to get cards.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. I think because they're not packs.
Oh yeah.
But they are.
But they're not. I think they've somehow ruined that like gambling feel that packs are supposed to give you.
You know what? I can kind of see that, but
yeah, like
I don't know.
It's not. Oh, legendary. There's not enough of that going on. There's not enough dwarves.
Well, it's suckering you out of your money.
There's not enough dwarves yelling shit at me. That's what Legends of Runeterra needs. Which is also to say any game needs it.
I think it's just separated itself too far from how packs usually are, because like the capsule system is never very well explained.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like the capsules are supposed to be packs.
Yeah.
But they just have a bunch of different names on them. Like it's like this capsule, this is a chest, this is like a rare capsule, and like they've instead made them like these little boxes that hold a bunch of different sort of things.
See, what they should have done is they should have made it like little like, because I know for like the shop they have like the bag icon. They should have made it like little bags that you kind of like, dump things out of. I think that would have been a much more fun way of doing it than capsules. Capsules do sound pretty awful for your pack system.
As well as I think another problem with it is you can't look at what your card is when you pull it. Like you can see it, but you can't actually mouse over it and like get more information about it.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
so the only way
in the cards and then
yeah,
it like puts you another step removed from being like, oh, I pulled this really cool card.
What is it?
It's like, well, I pulled this card. I don't know what it does.
Well, time to go back to the menus.
I think if that's my biggest complaint, I think that's it. Is that you can't see what it is that you're getting when you get it. Like, that instant gratification needs to be there, otherwise it's just not as exciting. I think that's what it is.
That was a big problem. Yeah,
that's definitely a part of it. I think it's like all together. I think they've distanced it too far from how it's supposed to feel to open a pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the capsule system, by the way. So I was looking at it a little bit. So you've got the different tiers of capsules, and like they all have different things inside of them, or chances to have different things inside of them. There's like rare, epic, and then legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary, you're guaranteed a champion. Anything below that, you have a chance to get a champion, but it's super low for rare. And epic, you're only guaranteed 1 epic and 2 rare cards, something like that.
Yeah, like it follows the same like basic structure of packs, and I feel like in some ways it's actually better. Like it's a healthier system as far
Right.
as like chances and things like that. At least it feels like it maybe is. But it doesn't give you that same excitement.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Like I waited like the first week and I had like a huge weekly vault that I opened because I grinded like a bunch of points. And like it was supposed to be like really cool. Like, oh, this is my opportunity like to get some really good stuff. I got like 2 gold chests and like a platinum chest or something like that. And like it just wasn't. It just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't get like that amazing of cards.
Yeah, it could also be, you know, just the level of cards that you actually get, or good cards just don't feel like they're there.
Yeah, there's a lot of random kind of filler.
Yeah.
But it's not to the extent that like any of the cards are super unplayable either. Like I think the core set is fine, and there's a lot of ways that you can build, but you just have to kind of think outside the box. There's no real, at least from what I've played, no real defined meta other than like a couple of cards.
Yeah. Like I think the overall mechanics of the game are fine and like they're solid, but the game is just missing something.
Yeah.
And it's not like a mechanical thing. It's something to do with the user experience. Is flawed somewhere.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to try it now just to see how this is.
Just try to analyze it.
Yeah, try to analyze what is with Legends of Runeterra, because I love some card games.
Send it into like extra credits or something like that. Like, hey, can you like dig into this for me? Something feels wrong as a player, but like I'm not.
Yeah. So, by the way, I don't know if you've watched them, Jake, but I haven't actually watched them for like almost a year now.
Oh yeah, I kind of totally understand. I still watch. I've watched them all still.
Yeah, there was a excellent video I saw that was like how Extra Credits has actually gone downhill in a lot of their stances and their content, and I was like, yeah, no, I see that. I've seen a lot of those issues, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're never gonna have the glory days again.
We'll never have it again. It feels
it's not even just that like Dan and oh my god, I had his name there, just disappeared.
James?
Yeah. It's not even just that Dan and James are gone either. Like, it might be like part of that.
James is still there.
I swear he's gone.
No. As far as I know, he's still there. It's just that Dan left. Just Dan and Dan. No, he didn't.
I swear he did.
No. I could double check. I'll double check, and I might remember to give an update for next podcast. But yeah, no, James has been there the whole time. Just Dan, and Dan all left.
Dan cubed.
Yep.
Regardless, I don't even feel like it's necessarily a personnel change thing. Like even while everyone was still there, I felt like it was.
Yeah, like.
Going downhill.
Yeah, they also talked about how, like I was saying before, like their stance changes on things and how they more talk to their audience as if from a point of the industry, from the point of an industry, instead of as it was before, where it was as the point of the player.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really big shift that happened I think it was 2 years before Dan left. It started to go that way. But yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
We haven't watched any more Sopranos because it's now a Hulu add-on.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You have to pay to add on HBO stuff to it.
Yeah, it was free for a little while.
Yeah.
But dang. I was actually I was waiting to hear more about you had to say on The Sopranos too. So.
Yeah, we have not watched more Sopranos.
Yeah. Anything else, or just kind of done for shows? Replaced with GTA.
I've been the only anime I'm only excited to watch right now is just Tower of God, which is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that because I've already read the webtoon. I've already been reading the webtoon the last year or so.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that actually it sounded familiar. Now that you said webtoon, I think I might have seen it on webtoon. I haven't read much of it, but I think I saw it.
Yeah. It's really good, and it's cool to see it animated, but I can only get so excited for experiencing the story over again.
Yeah. What is it about? Because I don't remember.
So it's set in a world where there's the tower.
Yes.
And whoever climbs the tower, at the top of the tower, you can find anything you want. You can get any wish granted at the top of the tower or whatever. Is how it's seen.
So Fable style.
Sort of, yeah. Except everyone lives in you live in the tower, but not. You might not necessarily have the ability to climb the tower. There's an outer portion of the tower and the inner portion of the tower. So people live technically in the tower, but the outer portions. And then if you're chosen, you can go to the inner portions, which allow you to climb the tower to reach higher levels and eventually, hopefully, find the wish granter thingy at the top. But we follow the protagonist Bam, which I guess it's far more interesting, I think, in Korean.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
because his name is supposed. He's technically the 25th Bam, and it's supposed to be something that. It's supposed to translate to the 25th night, something like that.
Okay. Day night or night.
Yeah, N-I-G-H-T.
And okay.
Yeah, nighttime.
Gotcha.
But yeah, in English he's just Bam, just B-A-M.
They should have just. I don't know if they should have just translated it or not, because the mental image of just giant, impact, text, Bam, is forever etched in my mind if you ever say his name.
Which is funny because that has this exact antithesis of who he is as a character, especially in the anime at the beginning. He's just just a dude. You're just this kid. Really, he's not even a dude. He's a kid.
He's not even dude status. But yeah.
And he enters the tower to chase after his only friend in existence, Rachel.
Uh-huh.
And he lives in this just cave, and it's just the two of them as far as we know. And she's taught him everything he knows, and he's super attached to her. So when she enters the tower to climb it and see the stars, it's I guess there's a myth. The sky is a myth because from any part of the tower you can't actually see the sky.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. But there's.
So she wants the real stars.
Okay.
And so he enters the tower to chase after her, but he actually enters the tower from outside. From not necessarily out, not from the outer portions of the tower where most people live, but from outside.
Yeah,
that's where he lives.
Okay, because you said a cave, and so I had to assume it was from outside of the tower.
Well, because there are it's hard to because it's a tower, but every floor looks just a normal place.
Okay. Okay. I'll just continue.
Like some
to follow
even
you.
have like some even have fake skies and that kind of thing, but like it's still inside the tower.
Okay, so we. Okay.
But he enters from outside, which marks him as what's called an irregular. People who are climbing the tower are known as regulars, but people who are climbing from outside are irregulars. And like whatever an irregular enters the tower,
so he
like
needs to eat enough fiber. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. Bam needs more fiber.
Well, yeah, good.
Irregulars are always known to spark some sort of great change in the tower.
Okay.
And so far it's just been his adventures of like climbing the tower. Like there's a bunch of tests you have to do, and like if you pass the test, you can go up to the next floor. And like so right now he's just meeting friends and like learning how to use his abilities and stuff like that. Right now they're on the floor of tests, which is like the first main floor where you'll get assigned a class. You get assigned a class essentially and taught how to be your class. He is a wave controller, which uses this like special form of like energy or whatever that permeates the tower called Shinsu.
Okay.
It's invisible, but like it can be like harnessed and like looks like water usually when you harness it. It's essentially just magic.
Yeah, I was gonna say magic. Like,
yeah, wave controllers specialize in
it's the force
using magic. It's visual force though. It doesn't stay invisible. Whenever you use it, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
So kind of like how mana transfers from invisible property to physical.
Yeah. Yeah. So just magic.
Yeah, so like when you first start out, like you're essentially looks like you're shooting like jets of water at people, but eventually, like at higher levels, it's like fire or whatever the hell you want to do with it. Everyone's got like their own style for how they use it, like their own motif. Like one chick is like flowers, things like that.
Okay.
Nice.
And so that's pretty much as far as the anime has gone. Like he's building his party of people and learning how to use his abilities. The webtoon has gone much, much further.
Yeah,
wherein like we've gotten like the political structures and like stuff of the tower, where no one's ever gotten to the top. But there was this group who like climbed it first, which was Jihad and his party. And eventually, for some unknown reason, they stopped climbing the tower, and Jihad crowned himself king of the tower. And his party members become the leaders of the 10 great families. And they've got like this just big government thing going on. And Bam is now working to overthrow Jihad.
Why? That's a good sign right there. That's
lots of reasons.
Okay.
An entire webtoon's worth of reasons. So currently he's not super actively working to overthrow Jihad.
Is it just that everything sucks or something? Like, or is
he ended up becoming sort of allied with the main resistance group, originally by force, but now by like necessity.
Okay.
And Jihad's forces have captured who's like his master, and so he's currently at like this big war to try to save him.
Okay, so yeah, he's kind of a tyrant, and there's a lot of
Jihad,
yeah, and there's a lot of because I'm just like from the beginning like premise you had going on where it's just he's trying to find his best friend in the world to suddenly he needs to overthrow a king. like
a lot of things have happened.
You didn't give me a good lead up into that. Just
pretty tall order.
I don't want to spoil like for anyone who's listening.
Well, you should say spoiler or ask for if we were okay with spoilers. Be like spoiler warning, and then I'll tag it. Because this is really recent stuff. I've been tagging, or I tagged at least for episode 1 on spoiler stuff. We didn't really have much spoiler stuff in 2, So I didn't put anything. But yeah, I could put a spoiler warning because I'm not gonna watch this.
Okay, so if you and Mike want some spoilers, I can at least like tell you how the whole find his best friend thing gets resolved.
Yeah.
Like where that goes. Mike, do you care?
No.
Like even if you do watch the show, you find out pretty early on, like within the first. Like,
okay. Then yeah, you should definitely explain that kind of stuff because like.
Okay. So it's a spoiler warning from here for Rachel spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel's the worst human being in the tower.
And that's the friend?
Yes.
Okay.
She's probably the most hated character in the whole series.
Okay.
So she enters the tower first, and Bam pretty much immediately finds her like on the floor of tests.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, she sees him as soon as she enters the tower, but she's hiding from him. She doesn't want to be found because she thinks, like, this is portrayed that her motivations are that, like, he'll be a weakness for her if they're together.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to be with him. And then just goes on to become, like, super jealous of him. Because, like, he has everything she ever wanted, and, like, she can only ever attain any of it through, like, lying or, like, cheating or whatever. And so, like him having friends, him having power, that kind of thing. And so she goes on to like betray him multiple times, and like try to kill him multiple times. And eventually, he like gives up on her.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if we ever see each other again, I'm gonna kill you. Like I don't want it to be this way, but some parts you're just gonna have it has to be now.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's like the opening premise for the show. That's just.
I wonder if that's just some sort of like weird Korean folklore thing, because like in a lot you see this a lot in Chinese movies where like the main character will always have to die because their story is complete or whatever, and like they can now move on to a better place because they won their fight or something along those lines. I'm just like, I wonder if that's something, if that's one of those things where like
in Korea, your best friend always has to betray you.
Your best friend betrays you over and over again and is an awful person. I mean, maybe. I don't, because I'm like, because you going into that, Mike, I thought you were going to give me another example of this kind of story. I was like, wait, what? But yeah.
I mean, there is kind of also, there's always that Chinese traitor in those films as well, like that will sell their own people out.
Because I mean,
literally anybody.
Yeah, even back in the day, Kenichi has that like friend, quote unquote, that's kind of just like backstabs the main character at any turn. So
right, but he wasn't spending his whole life looking for him, you know.
Well, Kenichi wasn't, no, but I mean, still, he had a friend. Yeah. The beginning was this guy and this other guy. It has the same kind of premise where the best friend, the loner, has a friend who is actually awful. Has to go in.
Oh, Nijima, yeah.
Yeah, Nijima, yeah.
Although Nijima actually ends up turning up to be a nice
guy.
Yeah,
in the end, he turns back around, but in the beginning, he is an awful person. So it seems
like that's not going to happen for Rachel. Rachel's not going to become a good person.
Yeah, so it's really weird to just kind of like shrug off a character who, at your, inciting incident, gets kind of, just needs to like be, ejected from the equation.
And like that, it takes a long time for that to happen. She like avoids him. Mm-hmm. Like you find out in the first 3 episodes that she's there. That she is still there. Like you meet her super early on, and you find out that she doesn't want to be with him. But all the betrayals and stuff happen over like a long course of time.
Oh, okay. So yeah, because for a second I thought you were saying, in the third, from episode 1 to 3 was kind of these episodes of him.
No.
Gotcha.
No. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. You find out like where she is and her feelings at first super early.
Okay, yeah, but
she
things
she still hasn't descended all the way down to being like the horrible person she becomes.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay, so how is that only in the show or only in the comic, or does that actually cut by the first season?
It's we'll probably get to some betrayals in the first season,
but it's not over.
But we shouldn't get to the big like thing where he gives up on her.
Okay,
until
gotcha.
later.
Oh, okay,
so
cool. Gotcha.
Only in the comic.
Interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, it's a little intriguing to see how the progression of this goes, but at the same time, just like I don't think I would.
It's also really cool as far as like the characters and the powers and things like that are really good still. So like I would definitely recommend giving it a try to see how you feel about it.
Maybe.
The overall show is really good.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, if the getting to I have to go and defeat a king now is a little bit smoother of a transition.
It is.
Okay.
Like it's hard to like let me check exactly how many webtoons like there has been. So we are on episodes like upload 62 of the 3rd season.
Gotcha. But yeah, it's still you didn't give any reasons there, just that he was against him, and I'm like what?
And season 2 had 337 episodes, and season 1 had like a similar.
Yeah.
Like, it's long.
But he has been doing like he's been doing a lot of things during this time.
I'm doing some big skips.
Yeah. Cause I'm just like you didn't say anything about how the guy as a king ran the place or anything. Just we need to stop him. So okay, good to know. Good. So that's good. I still.
Tell me there's a law of the land, that there's order and peace here. Nah, fam, you gotta shut that shit down.
You gotta shut everything down. So yeah. I still don't know how much I would really be interested in it. It depends.
At least Mike should check it out. I think Mike.
Yeah, Mike might like it more than I would.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, because right now I'm just. I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard for me to like have an anime to not find something that like ruins the show for me on like because the big one is the Id Invader thing. After watching that first episode, like just the ending where they're like way to intrigue me to watching more of it is a lapse in judgment by a ton of fucking people. Means I need to watch the show more is a nah, fam. I'm not gonna watch any more episodes.
I don't think there's any moments like that.
Okay.
So far.
Yeah.
I was
a little worried. I'm not saying it. I'm not gonna say it's bad or good, but I'm not sure if I'll watch it.
We're just in some very large beats with like none of the subtlety that's actually involved.
Yeah. That's why I had to like double check on that because I'm just like, wait, what? But yeah, good to know.
Maybe at this point he's like he's not actually trying to overthrow the king yet.
Oh, okay. Or in the show
right
or
now,
in the webtoon?
Even in the webtoon, he's still not trying to overthrow the king yet.
Oh, okay.
His main goal right now is still just to save his master.
Oh yeah, okay.
But he's allied himself with the rebel faction, and like you can tell that's definitely like his
where
destiny. Like that's what's gonna happen.
That's where it's going.
He is currently not motivated to do that yet.
Cool. So, think that wraps it up for this.
For what people have been doing.
Yeah.
Probably move on to the actual topic, which is definitely going to take us at least another hour.
Probably. All right. So, today's big topic is going to be DLC and purchasing or buying things in generally games, but or trying to buy things after you get a product. So, I know it's evolved a lot over the years. Like, when I first started to, like, really get into games, it felt like I hadn't done too much of it. Like, so I'm not too sure on how it was like before Mass Effect 3, because that's like one of the places where it like kind of started exploded. Funny to say that with me talking about it earlier, but yeah. Do you guys know like much DLC that came out before that, or like
Before
like Mass Effect 3?
um,
I know it is like MMOs was like the big one before that.
MMOs was a big one before that, but there was also
It was mostly multiplayer maps. A lot of those early games that took off with like the really big multiplayers, like Modern Warfare and stuff like that, that were really popular.
Halo 2.
Oh, yeah.
Halo 2.
What DLC did Halo 2 have? I don't remember any of that.
Well,
I
it
think
was
more
DLC at
maps.
the time. They came out with more maps. It was an update more than DLC, and then they repackaged it in the Master Collection later on.
I know Call of Duty and I think maybe Splinter Cell at one point sold additional maps that you could buy.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just map packs for multiplayer.
That's mostly what I remember. I'm trying to think of some of the earlier like story DLCs.
Yeah.
Because usually whenever you get something like that, they would resell a newer version of the game instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Fable had the Lost Chapters.
Yeah. Because I only remember getting or I only got the Lost Chapters. So yeah. Because really my big introduction to games was Fallout 3, and that had 2 or 3. I think it has three big DLCs.
Yes,
I think that was
right.
Yeah, because that was before Mass Effect 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like how they did it too, because it was instead of like a lot of like little things or anything, it was just like a full standalone like adventure start to finish.
Yeah, and they kind of got like a lot of the training for Fallout 3 from Oblivion's DLCs.
Yeah.
Oblivion was one of the earlier games that really took off with it.
Mm-hmm.
And which was, I think, part of the reason why it's got such like a dichotomy for DLCs.
Oh, like what do you mean by that?
Some like the best and some of the worst DLCs like made were for Oblivion.
Yeah.
The most infamous one was Horse Armor.
I was gonna say, was that Horse Armor?
Yeah, that was Horse Armor. You could pay like $5-10, something like that, just to put armor on your horses.
Yeah. Did it even do anything?
I think it maybe increased their defense.
Okay, I was gonna say I'd hope it at least increased their defense, like normal armor.
But the most impactful thing I remember, because I got hit by it, was there was like one special horse in the game, which was Shadowmere.
Yep.
Which was like the vampire horse you would get from the Dark Brotherhood questline.
Well, it was a nightmare, which it's just it's a horse that's made of shadow, basically.
But this big thing was it couldn't die.
Right. Or if it did die, you could resurrect it.
Yeah, it would come back. However, if you put horse armor on Shadowmere, he would not come back.
Oh.
I either that or like it glitched him in some way.
Yeah.
It was possible to lose him permanently.
That one sounds more likely with Bethesda.
Wow.
Yeah, so I lost my Shadowmere because I put elven horse armor on him, and he was gone.
The elves took him. The elves took him. There, it's his. It's
Don't
theirs.
You know,
now.
you fool! You never mixed two immortal sources.
But it also had a bunch of really cool DLCs. Like the next ones that it had were 3, I want to say, houses you could purchase, special houses.
Yep.
The Wizard's Keep, the like
the log cabin
auto thing, and the like Knight's Fortress. So what are the exact names of them? That was like the idea. There was like a little fort you got to have, like a keep, a wizard's tower, and then this little like secret underground grotto.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a while. I remember seeing those.
Yep, yeah, you would get the place for free after doing like a quest after getting the DLC,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could spend money to buy rooms and furnishing for them, which give you access to a bunch of really cool and useful things for each archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Wizard's Tower allowed you to make permanent, familiar astronauts that would follow you around, as well as had access to the spell crafting and enchantment things you could get if you had finished the Mages Guild quest line without having to go to the Mages Guild.
Cool.
I think I had a thing for filling soul gems as well, but I don't quite remember.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in that then. Like, even after you buy it, there's still things you unlock. So
yeah, I mean, like the Knight's Keypad.
And you and to be clear, you buy this with in-game currency, right?
Yeah.
So you bought the DLC.
Yeah, with real world, but
additional furnishing.
Yeah. The progression of the house is not more cash money.
No, luckily not. It's like, congratulations, your $15 got you an empty home for $5 more.
You could get a couch.
You could get a couch in that empty home.
That's what the early days. They weren't quite at that stage yet.
Yeah.
No. Thank fucking God, too, because God knows Bethesda would have ran people dry on that shit.
You have to jump to get up the steps, but you could pay an extra $5 for you to be able to walk up those steps.
Get you an elevator.
Get you. No. The elevator is $20. Please, this is Bethesda.
I don't remember the keep super well. I know that the little grotto had a cell, like a prison you could purchase, so it would have a guy permanently sleeping in there. So if you were a vampire, you could always feed on him.
Yeah.
Nice.
As well as a little box where you could hire this guy who'd go out and steal or murder for you or whatever. And there's this little box he would just deposit stuff in he got from while doing that, and he would just give you money and items every day or so. And there was a shrine to the Night Mother that would give you some kind of buff or whatever you could go pray out.
Kind of like the Night Mother shrine in the actual Nightingale Hall.
Yeah, there was something special about it. I don't remember what it was, though.
It probably gave you one of the same 3 buffs that you could get by finishing that quest.
And then they had the Shivering Isles, which is easily one of the best DLCs.
Yeah,
that's what they got the big inspiration for the Fallout ones.
Yeah, that's the only one I really I kind of remember now that once you explained all of the different little places you get in that DLC. I remember people talking about that. I always think about the Isles when people talk about Oblivion DLC.
Yeah, Shivering Isles was easily one of the best things ever added to Oblivion.
Yeah.
Entirely independent quest line, super big area for its time, added on a bunch of cool new spells and armors and quests and things.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed the DLCs for Skyrim that let you use Stalrim. What was the name of it? It was the one where you could go back to Dark Elves from
Morrowind?
Yeah, that's the one.
What DLC was that?
Forget.
No, nothing of Skyrim.
There was Dawnguard, Hearthstone.
Wasn't Dawnguard or Hearthstone.
I know, it's the other one.
It's the forgotten one.
It's the forgotten one. But yeah, I really liked the Stalrim sets. I think the Stalrim was one of the best design armor sets in the game. And also I really liked the Chitin sets. It actually gave you a use for all the useless fucking carapace that you had just laying around from killing the creepy crawlies inside Falmer areas.
Yeah, I actually didn't play that one as much It was like the last one that came out. I want to say I played mostly Dawn Guard, and really enjoyed Adventure around like the new realm of Oblivion it added, that like undead realm.
Did you mostly play in that new area in Dawn Guard?
No, not all the time. You had to go there for like a set of the quest line.
Okay.
And then you could freely roam it afterwards. There's a bunch of new quests there.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Then yeah, I was wondering how much of that is fleshed out versus just having like a chunk of it to do a quest or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty fleshed out. That's the fun part.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, still a lot. Like another one that I think, or one that I think of. I don't know when it came. I don't remember when it came out, but Witcher 3's DLC.
Yeah, I want to make sure we brought it up because.
Yeah, because I think
easily one of the best like done DLCs in quite a while.
Yeah, because I think each one of. Also, speaking of, because I was about to say how much like they cost to get. Do you guys remember how much any of that stuff was to actually buy? Back in the day,
Skyrim,
yeah, Skyrim, yeah.
I want to say most of Oblivion's you were talking like 10 to 15 a pop.
Okay.
Yeah, on average.
Skyrim, I think, is when they got to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they were first released, but they usually dropped in price pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like
yeah, they were sold in the Game of the Year editions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Game of the Years, which is yeah, like we were talking about on the other episode, we were saying how like Game of the Year editions will usually be the same amount cost as the original game later with all the DLC package with it. So they go down in price significantly. And then, like, I think it was even, like, 2 or 3 years after Witcher came out, like, it and all the Game of the Year edition for that, I don't know if it was called the Game of the Year edition, it might have been Deluxe or something.
It's the complete edition.
Yeah, the complete edition, yeah, that was always on sale to, like, $15, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, you could always get that game, like the complete version of that game, super cheap. And it's so, like, good that you can, because it's such a good game.
Yeah, because after, like...
I didn't put enough time into it. I had actually never even got the DLCs, even though I know I've heard they're just amazing.
Yeah, like, I forget if it was, like... I think it's the Heart one. I think a lot of people were talking about. Heart of Stone, yeah. I think that's the one I've always heard people like saying is like the best one out of all of them, but I could be wrong.
I've heard good things about both of them.
Yeah. I've heard the.
I feel like the tagline for the amount of added content was that they added as much content as there was in like The Witcher 2.
Oh dang! I didn't think that would be that much, but.
That was like the thing, or at least the amount of additional explorable area was the same.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
In some, like, there was some like really big comparison. Like the amount they added was the same as Witcher 2 had.
Shit.
And it wasn't that expensive. It was like $15. $20.
Yeah, they're $15. For
$15, and then discounted if you got
discounted to $5 or whatever.
Well, even on sale, if you got the season pass, it was like $25.
Yeah.
And then they also gave out a bunch of free DLC. Was one of the big things like that they were talking about. Was that CD Projekt Red just released a bunch of cool little things that like they could have sold for like a couple bucks, like $5 or whatever. Most studios would do.
Yeah.
But instead, they just gave it away for free. There was like 15 of them, I want to say.
Probably. Leave it to CD Projekt Red to just throw content just at you.
They're so good. The only thing I've ever heard about them is that they had a like kind of bad crunch.
Well, they just work. I imagine they'd work their staff pretty hard, just generally, just to get all that content out within. Well, for Cyberpunk coming out later this year. It's like 4 or 5 years since they stopped producing big DLCs for Witcher, you know?
I mean, at this point, you're hard pressed to find a company that doesn't do some form of crunch.
It's not an amazing excuse because everyone else does it, but that's the only complaint I've ever had for CD Projekt.
Yeah, and
They're
even
definitely one of my top companies.
yeah, definitely. Right now, it's
I don't even know who else I put up there.
I don't know.
Um, CD Projekt for sure.
Yeah, it's like possibly Valve.
But like they just do so little as a game
Yeah,
company.
well, like, that's the thing though. It's because they let like everything I've heard about them is they just let their staff members do whatever, and so if just they don't want to get something done, nothing happens.
I mean, if it weren't for the Anthem fiasco, I would put BioWare up there.
Yeah, BioWare's gone downhill.
Yes, in recent years, but
Yeah.
again,
Well,
Anthem.
no, not even just with Anthem. Just in general, I would honestly say, like, I didn't really talk about it too much, even when we were talking about Mass Effect 3 stuff. But like, how I actually thought about this earlier, but I forgot what kind of talking points I had about it. But it just feels like they kind of like leave a lot of things kind of half baked and half done, just on whims. It feels like, and I don't like. I didn't talk about it before again because I haven't like fully, fleshed out my thoughts on it. But yeah, it just feels kind of weird and. Like Mass Effect 3 and a little bit I feel like Inquisition does it a bit better. Like they actually I feel like fold things back in better. But with the fact that they had to have a lot of it actually is with that DLC, by the way. That's actually what I didn't talk about earlier.
Okay.
Where like Jack's ending like resolution for her romance is in DLC is DLC you had to have had at the time. Same with Miranda, which was the newest game, which is the second game, the game before this one. You had to then buy something to get them back into your game basically. Like they had a very small role. Like they have a mission, and then you might have got a scene with them later on. Where because at the another thing I didn't mention earlier is well, obviously because it wasn't as important as it is now talk about it, but there's a little like thing at that last mission where you go and you actually do a call in with Jack and a bunch of other of the the side cast, and Jack's one of them, and it's like that's like a main would be a main driving force for Shepard in this moment. That is just like you kind of just do a phone call, check in really quick to make sure nothing's going too wrong, even though the world's exploding, and then you just kind of leave. Like it's like not even a super long talk.
Yeah,
like
I like to try to blame a lot of like BioWare's more recent stuff on EA, but there's like no way to know for sure.
Yeah, like because like it just feels like they just don't care enough about the characters they developed to get to kind of because the funny thing is, it's the human characters that were introduced in too, and I don't know exactly what their thought process for putting them in or whatever, and who would want to like sustain their existence in the game, in the company, but it just doesn't feel like it's there. Like it's Liara, like your main people to like that you continue to romance is Liara and Tali. Those are the main two. Like you don't even get a whole lot of time with Ashley or Caden if you kept them alive.
Yeah, there's Garrus.
Garrus,
that's one.
He's also an alien. I'm saying the human.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm saying specifically human members that were in the previous games.
Like that's because Shepard is basically Captain Kirk and he only fucks aliens.
That's not a very good reason, but I know. Yeah. So I'm just like so yeah, it's like they had their own like agenda that they didn't like again with 2 having you know, it's actually kind of funny because I think that all of the female shepherd romances were alien, if I remember correctly. Is there anything? Yeah, Garrus and Thane.
Can you not romance Caden?
It might be Caden, because wasn't Caden in 1?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So there was more stuff with him later on, but at the same time, they have that counterpart for both of them.
Yeah, but if you,
or I mean, both female.
There's also a chance that Caden just straight up left after the.
Probably same with Ashley. Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
they both.
But yeah, what I was saying is they have a counterpart there. There isn't. There's. Yeah. Huh?
You just don't really get male human party members.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like that was the funny thing I'm realizing is the female shepherd got aliens to romance, and
wait, could you romance Rex? I don't think you can. Right?
No, you can't romance Rex.
Isn't there some kind of male human into some kind of mercenary guy? He wasn't super important.
I think that.
Oh, I remember who you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about. The only one that is a mercenary that I remember is Thane.
I remember. No, Thane's the alien.
Thane's the that's the only male mercenary.
There might have been DLC.
Maybe there was some DLC I didn't play with. She started with Kasumi. She is a DLC character I didn't have.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
She was DLC.
She DLC.
Yeah, that sounds right. I want to see what I can.
This is why I need to stop playing the Masters collections because I don't know what the fuck is DLC anymore.
What even is DLC? That's what we're here to talk about. So, are you looking it up, Jake? Or
I was trying to look it up, yeah, but the wiki is not like super. At least the Wikipedia page isn't super well organized.
No, it isn't.
I mean, but
the
female
wiki
shepherd could also romance Liara, so technically she gets an extra option.
Yeah, though
I mean,
again, Liara is
you can romance all of them as any of them. So.
Nah, that's not true.
Totally can.
No, not that I remember. I at least know in 3 you definitely can't.
Well, okay, fine. Maybe in 3.
Okay,
I was gonna say in 2 you definitely can.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I didn't play too much of it.
Zaid is who I was thinking of.
Oh, Zaid, yes. Can you romance him?
I have no idea.
He
was the human male. That's all I remember.
No, I don't think you can.
No.
I know. Yeah.
But if you do, it's like a one-off thing.
It's kind of a joke thing. It's not really.
It's a gag.
It's mostly a gag. I know in 3 it's really funny. He tries to like, in my game, he tries to like, hit on Samara, and she ain't having it. It's funny.
I mean, Samara is a fucking paladin.
Yeah, you can technically romance Samara. So.
Yeah.
So there's Jacob.
Jacob. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, good. So there's someone in 2. I wasn't 100% sure, mostly because a little bit of a spoiler in 3. If you made it this far in the video, I don't. But in mine, Jacob actually hooks up with a scientist. In 3. So that's why I got confused on that. I wasn't sure if he would actually be romanceable.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, I mean, there's also the bridge captain that you can romance as well.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Kelly.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. I knew you could technically hook up with her, but yeah, in 3 she's like even if you romanced her in 2, I don't think you can again, or for 3, like she's not even really in the game.
So for a discussion of like post-purchase DLC type stuff,
yeah,
I think there's no proper discussion about it without us at least mentioning online passes.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things we were gonna get to eventually. I'm just trying to build up to the point where we're kind of at in present day non-sensory.
Yeah, so next, it was pretty much next, right? Was when they started trying to do online passive.
I don't know, cause I know there was no, cause actually next was just microtransactions of little shits, in from what I remember at least. It could be season passes, but I know in Dead Space 3 was one of the big pushes for more microtransactions by EA again, who started it with the Mass Effect. Oh yeah, by the way, Day 1 DLC was actually the big one.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 3 that got people talking is because
Day 1 DLC.
Yeah, they started Day 1 DLC because usually it was like, the next year or so they would have like packs set up.
Although, but like, I'm not talking season passes. I'm talking online passes.
Online, like what? How do you mean then?
Like battle passes.
No, not battle.
Battle passes are new.
Yeah.
Online passes were there were little pieces of paper that would come in games that had online components, and they were one use only. You had to have that pass in order to play online or to gain some other benefit. It was in order to try to cut out used game sales.
That's yeah.
If you purchased a used copy of the game, you had to then go online and pay $5 to purchase the online pass.
That I don't know, because I remember that being a thing the same year that 40K Space Marine, because it came with that, and I remember we were talking about that way back in the day. Yeah, where it was an additional online buy-in.
I'm trying to remember some like the really big games that used it. Like Ubisoft was huge on it.
Yeah, look up when Space Marine came out, because that'll be the year.
Dragon Age Origins came with a code for that. Mass Effect 2 used online pass.
Oh, really?
Had one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that far back? I didn't remember it being that far back. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I did... Yeah, because Mass Effect 1 came out around the time when I was starting to get into gaming. So, I can see that. So when was that? And I wonder when that started. Because I don't think they do that at all anymore.
No, it's I'm on the wiki page now.
Okay. Gotcha.
It started out around 2013. But yeah, games that did it were Dragon Age Origins, Kingdom of Amalur, Rock Band 2.
Yeah, and that one was sold and traded out a lot, mostly because everybody was playing it back then.
Yeah, Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age, I had Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10. EA was big on it. Assassin's Creed had it.
So yeah, mostly EA and Ubi.
Yeah, that was pretty scummy, and they're actually more expensive than I thought they were. At least that wiki cited a lot of them were $20.
I don't believe that, but I mean it's wiki. I'm not sure, because I remember before we were talking about it being 5 as well back when. I could be wrong though. It could have been 10 for the ones we had, but.
What other game? Oh, there was also the paid subscriptions back in the day.
Yeah,
like RuneScape.
Yeah, RuneScape, and then obviously WoW.
Just MMO subscriptions.
Yeah,
but that's not necessarily. Well, I guess.
Yeah, technically.
RuneScape was. They did paywall a bunch of content.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to think of like, is it really purchased after the fact?
Well, definitely for
it's a free game, so
yeah, it's basically just paying for something like after you obtain because I'm thinking even free to play games with any kind of microtransaction in it would still count. Is still something I want to talk about. So it's still subscription is something to talk about. And with WoW and some other games like it, you had to buy the fucking disc. And then you had to pay a subscription afterwards. It came with a 1 month.
remember buying my Warcraft disc. I got all excited to go home, make my undead warlock.
Yep.
After looking through the game booklet on the drive home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I tried getting Guild Wars way back in the day, but my internet was too slow to run it, so I never actually played it. I think I gave it to my friend or something at the time.
You guys remember buying the disc copies of League of Legends?
No,
I did.
because I didn't buy the disc copy. I just got it. I think I just could just get. You could just get it online as well. It's just if you had the disc copy, you'd get a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I remember that they existed, but I never got one.
Yeah, because I know the year before it came out, I remember seeing the PC Gamer thing that was gonna be a thing. It looked super awesome, but I didn't get into it until the next year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it came with a couple exclusive skins. It was like Goth Annie and Huntress Silver.
Mm. Yep.
And I think there was one more. I forget what it was.
Yeah. And then the other crazy thing that I still feel weird about for a lot of things is paid current, like just the different types of paid currencies in games to try to get around like
try to get around
direct money,
the microtransaction shenanigans.
Yeah. And also the thing is with I don't know, technically not, but kind of like loot boxes not having a direct money, like a direct money conversions.
Right.
And
you have to buy the currency first or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Is there any other paid things in there that I forgot about? Because I know even in I don't know, I think it was in Warcraft 3 they had an expansion even.
I mean, can we touch on
expansions are really old. Like the original StarCraft had an expansion, but you were still buying a separate game, a separate disc.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So it's like a full other thing. But now it's just a bunch of other assets that are in there that they just keep locked away.
I'm trying to remember, actually. Did StarCraft Brood War require you to have StarCraft? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it also might have.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Blizzard. I'd expect them to make you buy everything they could possibly do.
Not back then. Yeah.
Not joined with Activision. Now it's Activision.
Now it's Activision.
Different. Things are different.
It's been so long since they were a good company. I forgot.
It's been so long since they weren't
hot garbage.
A giant Sith boil on Activision's ugly face.
In the shape and name of Breck.
So there's online passes, season passes. I think started not too long after.
That was I want to say that really started off with Fortnite. Honestly.
That's battle passes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Battle. Oh yeah. Season
battle passes became popularized with Fortnite.
Yeah. So season passes weren't really that big of a thing until I want to say mid-teens.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because it was mostly games that they wanted you to buy instead of a Game of the Year edition that they would have out later, because everything is most things had transitioned to digital first, essentially. Retailing, there wasn't a need to rebuy the thing as a Game of the Year. It was now just, if you want, you can buy all DLC for this year as a separate package. I think
it was also just that pre-orders in general had become far more of a thing. Like, pre-orders had gotten huge, where you were supposed to pre-order every game because it came with DLC to pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came up with the idea of well, what if we got people to pre-order DLC also?
Mm-hmm. pre-order the idea of DLC.
Right, exactly.
because they wouldn't say wouldn't even say sometimes how much DLC would be planned or would be in a season pass. It would just be that it would be for a year, and like an estimated maybe.
Well, I mean, there's the other thing too of like, after they realized they could sell the DLC separately, they started doing different pre-order bonuses that were actually garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll be an in-game cosmetic item or something like that, or maybe a weapon, but it's a gag weapon at best, and like, or an alternate costume that I don't know has some kind of weird special ability.
Yeah, sometimes stuff like that. Some of the bigger ones were like physical rewards that were, but that's for like
statues and whatever.
Yeah,
but like
for like hundreds of.
They haven't done. Nobody's done anything like that since the
Doom.
Yeah.
Well, Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal did one.
Doom Eternal was a little different. Like that. That's the first one to do it in over a decade.
For statue or what?
For a statue, yeah.
Well, I guess
big versions. A lot of like the super big versions.
Yeah, like
statues. That's pretty common now.
Yeah, like that's
$100 version.
The last one I remember before that was Skyrim. Doing the
well, I know the Assassin's Creed
has one. I own it.
Yeah,
I know exactly. That's why I remember it.
Assassin's Creed, at least
that's $100 version.
5 or something had like no, it was like these are like 2 or 300, 2 to 500.
Dark Souls 3 had one.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much if you have
Halo 3 had the helmet edition.
Mm-hmm. Fallout 76 had a version.
No, that doesn't count. That's a fucking flaming trash pile, not a game.
Yes, but the rewards were also hazardous material that they handed people physically in the form of a helmet and a garbage bag. I mean, canvas bag.
Oh, Bethesda being pathetic.
Yep. So yeah, they had one. I've never been one, like the only game I've ever pre-ordered and right as I was gonna go do it, they ran out. Was New Vegas. The only pre-order I actually ever tried to do for like a big reward, for one of their big deals. So.
Oh damn. So before we move on to something else, real quick, and speaking of the Satan itself, which is EA, can we touch on the Battlefront 2 thing, where people are now petitioning to have more microtransactions put into
more any DLC that they can get. I mean, I guess. Yeah. Like I don't know where to put it. I would probably put this. Yeah, people petitioned on change.org to get any kind of more content into the game, and they'll pay for it.
Interesting.
Even though they fought extremely hard to get microtransactions out of Battlefront 2, and like there's a pretty big difference between the two, right? Like the microtransactions initially were almost predatory, okay? Like the progression system was purposely slowed down for the casual player, or for
everybody, for anybody playing. It was.
What I mean is for the free to play user.
Well, you still had to pay $60.
Right, I understand that. Bastard. You know exactly what I meant.
No.
Anyway, aside from paying for the fucking $60 of a goddamn trap that Battlefront 2 was, you also needed to fucking pay a shit ton of money for boosts, or you were going to get absolutely fucked every single game that you played by the people who did buy those boosts. Which a lot of people were rightfully up in arms about. And the CEO had the audacity to come out and say that people were sending mixed fucking signals about what they wanted in their fucking games.
Well,
That's not really the case.
Well, the funny thing is, like, there. Well, honestly, it's just fucking stupid. But people didn't want to get like pay to win things in there for their progression, but they're shutting down production on any content for it when obviously they could do like map packs or like they did before, like map packs or some other things like different like modes or like things like that in order to keep the game alive, but they're cutting out all content for it and it's just keeping the lights on basically.
Probably because they're going to be
it's because of
switching that focus on development.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't too like when I heard that it was shutting down kind of prematurely. What it's been how many years since that game's been out? Like 3?
Something like that.
Like that's like 3 years of having a multiplayer only game like that alive. I mean that's fine. You don't need a console generations worth of content, which is like 5 to 10 years.
Right.
Like you don't need that. And so I'm like, what if they could make a Battlefront 3 or some other kind of Star Wars shit, and hopefully it starts good and that means they have the resources to make it its longevity greater. Who knows? But like since they had to like work so much on readjusting everything and all that manpower to getting it correct on the second attempt before Disney kicked them to the curve, like they don't have as much money to keep it going if not a lot of people are buying microtransactions and shit after they buy the $60 fucking game because apparently they need all that extra money to fucking funnel down to development.
Yeah, man, where's all that Madden money gonna go?
To other Maddens eventually after it goes to the investors.
Right.
And dividends
to John Madden,
and to John.
But no, the point that I was going to make with it is that it's so ingrained that if a game doesn't have purchasable in-game content, that it's dead or it's going to die. And people think that if they start pumping out that content, that the game will stay around longer because they will pay more attention to it. When in reality, Heroes of the Storm is the perfect example of that not being the case.
Mm-hmm.
Blizzard has been pumping out shit for people to buy in that game for the last 3.5 years, since its fucking launch, and almost nobody was interested.
Yeah.
And that's sad,
You gotta know sometimes.
Yeah. And wait, and actually, we should. Do you have another direct point, or should I talk about a bit more in detail on the Heroes of the Storm stuff?
I mean, you can talk more in detail about that. My biggest point is just that the idea that people think that having that content available means that it'll stick around.
Yeah, having a lot of monetized content inside of the game will keep it alive. It's like, technically, yes, if people are buying it, there might be enough money in there to keep more devs working on it. But really, it comes down to it, because the lifespan of a game can survive a bit on that, but a lot of it is a lot of people really engaging in the content and wanting to like buy it. Like it's kind of a strange thing to think about, especially with the Fallout 76 stuff. Like, very few people were playing that game, but they keep pumping out content for it. Most of which is bad and monetized. But when you think about it, also that people, yeah, they're changing 76 so much that people are starting to come back to it for sure and like trying to keep hold of that. But again, Fallout 76 has been out for a year and a half now,
and it's just now
finally gaining its legs. Yeah, where with Battlefront 2, it got its legs back, I think, within 6 months, and has been going on for 3 years now. Like, it's
really good time to make another game for that market.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree.
Yeah, but... exactly. That's the thing. That's why. Like you're saying, that's why their argument is stupid. Because exactly. It's run its course. It's lived its life. It sucks that it was cut maybe a year short of, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it needs that much more content. Like, what kinds of things are they missing?
Its competitors don't try to last for 3 years or whatever. Like your Call of Duty games
last a year.
Don't go for 3 years.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, they last a year, maybe 2 if they're lucky. Like,
if they're lucky.
I'm sure people are still playing the old ones, but they're not getting anything new.
Yeah, like, and nobody's.
They're about ready to launch one, and they're halfway through development on the next one. Like,
yeah, basically, yeah. So it's, I think it's because a lot of it for them, and I think is that it's the desire to have Star Wars content out there, kind of like how Fallout 76 is, where they want that world and to be there and to have a gap in time when they feel like there's going to be dead space for it is what's getting them to do this, which again is stupid and like
I definitely understand the idea. I understand where they're coming from. Like, hey, like we really like this game.
Yeah, we really like this stuff.
Promise there will be that we will pay. Like we can promise you'll get profit from it if you'll just give us more.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But again, it's people
given
not
the scenario. It's not amazing.
Yeah, and that's why it's why I still we'll still keep calling it as something stupid, like to be so afraid that they're not going to have any more content like it, being that. But I don't know, maybe they're right too, but I highly doubt it, mostly because
there'll be another Battlefront.
EA wants to keep generating money.
Exactly. They want everybody who is playing Battlefront right now to pay another $60 for Battlefront, and then possibly more money for a Battle Pass, and then possibly more money for even more cosmetics. In a game that they probably already had cosmetics in previously, but it just, reskinned for a newer texture or whatever.
Yeah, for the next gen. Also, with the new consoles coming up, like, it makes actual sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense
to make a new one. So yeah, like they're gonna up the ante a bit more. Definitely higher textures, higher quality, fucking 4K everything, because who cares about frame rate? But
what was that game?
Fallen Order. That's gonna actually come out. Like there is talks on a number 2 of that. So.
Yep.
But yeah, and that one didn't have too much DLC and got free DLC as well. So I mean. Again, everything that's been happening with Respawn, even though there's no more Titanfalls coming out, even though a lot of people like them, it's like they're moving and doing stuff still. It's just not the game you want it to be, I guess, if you're looking for more Titanfall. But
there might be more Titanfall someday.
There isn't. Well, someday maybe, but not right now.
No.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So more Star Wars.
Although I can't always. Like, looking at EA, I can't say necessarily that I can be sure they're going to make another Battlefront without some sort of, like...
Well, the incentive right now is for next gen.
Well, yeah, but just, like, companies like EA tends to be pretty out of touch. And so the sheer idea that Battlefront 2 didn't do well, I think is going to, in some way, incentivize them incorrectly to not necessarily jump on making another one.
Maybe, yeah, that could be.
Like, it's super obvious to us that like a good Battlefront would very clearly sell and do well, but they don't understand that.
Yeah,
they don't know why. They don't know it was their own mistakes that made Battlefront 2 so bad, or like, they do know why. Like, it was because of the microtransactions and stuff, but they're so like.
I don't think they do, purely because they don't see the difference between the two.
Yeah, they don't see
payline progression versus cosmetics is not a different argument for them. It's money. That's all it is.
Yeah, because in their response to it, it's like, you guys didn't want microtransactions, but now you do want microtransactions? What are you even saying? It's like, no, we didn't want you to fucking grind, like, halt the game's progression in order to, you know, make more money, like, on frustration.
I want to put cool decals on my fucking TIE fighter. Now do that shit.
Yeah, get me a shit ton of, like, every insignia you can possibly think of that's in the Star Wars canon, and make stickers of them. I'll buy the fuck out of those. Like,
hell yeah!
Like, it'd be like, and it would be hilarious if you to give you ideas is to be able to put them all over your fucking spaceship, just everywhere.
Or even your body armor.
Yeah, or your suits or whatever. Like, if it was just like, I can just put them wherever, that would be amazing. Like, everybody would buy a shit ton of stickers.
Of course.
But
they don't get it. They don't understand.
Yeah, they don't understand.
And so I can see them, like,
that's
the idea of making a Battlefront 3. And
yeah.
Like, well, the last one did really poorly, so I think we should look at safer options.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why
they don't understand fun.
They don't. They only understand money.
And they don't even really understand that, because they don't understand where the fuck it comes from.
Yep. They understand that it happens, not that it comes from somewhere.
Yeah. Like, from our side of the equation, it's so easy to see something and just know, like, that's not a good idea. That's not going to sell. Like, it happens all the time. So when, like, you'll see advertisements for something.
Hey man, they got me to play that fucking Chex Mix game.
For free.
I know.
Is there a fucking paywall so you can get goddamn pretzel faster? I don't.
Dude, possibly. It wasn't no. It was a direct port. It definitely didn't have any kind of actual infrastructure to it. It was just click to go to the next thing. Good.
What it fucking deserves.
Really, but yeah, they really don't. I don't think it's gonna. I feel that.
I don't hate Chex Mix. I just think it's a stupid fucking idea for a game.
I mean, again, it was one of those serial titles, like the Captain Crunch thing, really, and then they just redid it because fuck it. I think. But yeah. But yeah. Oh, so. But yeah.
And then I guess we should talk about battle passes probably at least a little bit.
Yeah, battle passes. We still have to talk about loot boxes. We still have to talk about loot boxes. We never talked about loot boxes. I briefly mentioned it at one point. But yeah, battle passes. Yeah, and then
loot boxes better though. I think that's such a beaten horse at this point. Like,
well, I mean, just to bring it up,
it's the loot boxes. Go watch Jim Sterling. Go watch.
Well, it's just we need to like at least briefly summarize it to like get it out there. It's just
we'll have a little home rush here. We'll hit loot boxes. We'll hit battle passes, and then we can end it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I also want to talk about Fallout 76 and explain money wise on that. But yeah, go ahead.
Roadmap.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the whole idea of a year pass for a paid game.
Oh my god.
The whole idea of the Fallout First or whatever it's called.
That is such
that
a
too.
fucking
well, that's just subscription models. We've talked about that a little bit here and there.
Sort of, but we haven't really seen it for that type of
yeah.
game.
Well, yeah, I guess so, but. Because isn't World of Warcraft $60 to get into the new expansion, or is it $40?
It's $60.
It's $60. So yeah, it is a full price game every expansion.
Yeah, but
on top of a subscription. I guess yes, but I mean, really, it's a full price game plus a subscription.
But Fallout 76 isn't an MMO. Not really.
Pretty much is. You are popped into servers like an MMO, playing with other people in your quests like an MMO. It's an MMO. It's MMO Fallout. Like
I feel like it's too instanced, but I guess.
I guess on its most core aspects, yes.
Yeah, it's a
how many people are in each server? That's why I've never known. Do you know what the server cap is?
I don't know. I want to.
No idea.
It's probably smaller than a wool.
I don't think they'll ever hit it, to be honest.
Yeah, for real. Like they only maybe on their free weekends. The two times.
Feel less like an MMO to me. I guess like it technically still qualified. It checks all the right boxes, but because it's instance, like all these little worlds where like maybe there's 16 people in it total. It's
not 16. It's more than that. It's at least 60.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that limited.
But even so, it's just a wide open landscape. Even with 60
it
is.
You
might not run into any of them.
Possibly. That's if it's 60. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, it's a lower populated MMO basically. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so what were we at? Oh yeah, battle passes. Because as far as I know, battle passes. Because I haven't done Fortnite at all, or not really. It's like you win or play enough to where you unlock certain things?
Yeah, so there's the seasons track, and it goes, from left to right, and every set amount of points which you gain for playing, you get more if you win, you get more if you complete certain challenges that they'll set.
Mm-hmm.
But as you accrue points, you fill up the track. And whenever you hit milestones, you unlock things. There's a top track and a bottom track. Top track is free. You get unlocks pretty scarcely. It's like every 5 milestones or so. But there's also the bottom track, which is the paid track, where if you buy that battle pass, whenever you hit those milestones, you'll also get what's on the bottom track.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it does keep your progression. So like it's totally possible where you could play enough to do the entire track free, get all the free awards, and then just before the season ends, choose to purchase the battle pass and get the entire bottom track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know they do it in Destiny 2 now, too.
Yeah, you just pay to have access to the bottom track rewards.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
You often get enhanced progression sometimes, too, I think, if you purchase the battle pass.
Yes, you get an XP boost.
Yeah, depends on the game, though.
Yeah,
almost
all of them. Yeah.
The League TFT Battle Pass, you don't actually get any boosts on your EXP or anything.
Mm.
But the thing about that is you get more tracks to hit, like more stops on it. So like you're incentivized to keep playing more and use the Battle Pass to get all of those items. Because you are paying money for it, and it does have more stuff on it.
Yeah.
And like for the TFT one specifically, you get more eggs, you get another emote, you get 2 free little legends, which are the astronaut mole divers, 1-star and 2-star. There isn't a 3-star one yet, as far as I know. That one might be the end season reward for hitting gold or whatever on TFT ranked. Which they still haven't released the. Never mind. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah, you're just going through all the.
Yeah.
Stuff. They're generally better rewards on that paid tier than on the free tier as well.
Yeah.
But kind of at the you'll get something good at the end, like something on the same level, but definitely not as much.
Right.
So it's super incentivized to see those rewards and be like clearly this is the better option.
I've played enough where like I have this, or like there's a big like draw to try to get you to buy it where like if you play free and you see that track filling up
Mm-hmm.
and like you earn like 2 rewards, whatever, and it brings you that screen to show you the 2 rewards you've gotten, and then you look down and you see like, well, I also earned these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have them right now, but I've earned them. If I just drop $15, like those are mine right now.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to hook you in, or at that point, once you've dropped the battle pass, it's
You have
like,
to
well, I
play it
paid for
all.
this. I've got to get on and play more. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I dropped the money for that battle pass. I better unlock more stuff.
I better unlock all of it. Like I know I got it for these things, but these things are right over here.
Yep.
And then you just grind, and then you get all the stuff, and you're like feel like super rewarded, and then you're like next season more likely to drop it day one. Drop that cash.
True. Oh man, that was a really good time. Like I unlocked a bunch of stuff. It only cost me $15. I like had a bunch of good play hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should do this again. Like it was really worth it.
Yeah, and then soon enough you do that for 4 months, almost season, and you basically bought almost an entire game. Another game, a second game on top of the game you. Well, luckily with most of the games that do that, it's for free to play titles. So
it is. Yeah, it's for free to play. Or at least games that do intend to have a long running lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Like they intend to update themselves like free to play or MMOs or whatever.
Yeah, or it's like a yearly update, a yearly like big patch or something. But yeah. So yeah, and then. So yeah, there's that.
And they usually are really well like balanced as far as money goes. Where like so long as you actually play during the battle pass, you're usually going to get more than $15 worth of cosmetics and stuff if you had bought them individually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So really, value-wise, I would say they're kind of insidious in trying to get you to continue to pay for stuff and get you hooked on buying their stuff, but the value of it is fine. It is good.
Yeah, as far as the predatory monetization, I think it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, because the other alternative is loot boxes, which is random stuff comes out and only very rarely, like a 1 out of 100 to like 1,000 millionth percent of a chance to get like the thing you want. Because they hyperinflate those numbers a lot of the time.
Like maybe with a battle pass, the thing you really want is like really far down that track, but like you know exactly how much work you got to put in to get there,
or close to it. And again, some of them, those tracks are quick, like possibly quickened by buying the pass.
Mm-hmm.
So
and usually the ones that like don't quicken it have pretty like well paced tracks anyway.
Yeah. Like, it's not like they're not usually crazy, and you can come back to and like you can like grind them out later on, even if you like have like a week or whatever, or like 4 or 5 days at the end of before the season ends, where you can just grind out a ton of it. Like you can do that too.
Like I don't know if Call of Duty gives you a boost for buying it or not. I don't think they do, but I know I felt like the track progressed at a pretty decent clip back when I was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we probably back when Warzone first dropped and we were playing a bunch, I probably got like a third through the battle pass or whatever, and I didn't feel like it was that hard.
Yeah, I mean when Destiny 2, when I first jumped into Destiny 2. Like, I got through, like, half of their bar within, like, that week I played or something. And I didn't play too much. I only played, like, a few hours a day for, like, 4 or 5 days, maybe.
Yeah, as long as it's, like, the game you're playing, like, that's what you go back to during your free time, you're usually pretty solid to hit the battle pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
As you're playing every day during your free time and, like, you do the challenges and whatnot, it's not too bad.
Or just on your weekend, if you play a bunch on the weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, with loot boxes though, it's occasionally like knowing that you have the chance, like because usually there's a way to do it, get a loot crate for free. So it's like every so often you'll get this feeling of like I almost got the thing I want, So you're more likely to be like, if I give them $10, like I'll get a bunch of chances to like, or I'll more likely get it. So you're just like, you just keep doing that over and over again because you don't have the thing you want, especially if there's no way to like melt down the stuff you don't want to get the thing you want.
Oh, you know what? Well, what we bring up, there is one thing I did over the last 2 weeks I forgot to bring up during the recap. But luckily, it's
Yeah.
somewhat applicable here. So
Good. Okay. Okay, we got this.
I dumped money into a gacha game.
Which game? Which game?
Crossing Void finally released Holo.
Crossing. I don't know what that is. The phone game, I know. Right.
Yeah. It's what I tried to get you to get at one point.
What was it about?
Crossing Void is Dengenki Bunko's mobile game. They're like a big light novel publisher, and it's got all the light novels in it together.
Okay, I don't know what that is. But
like light novels, like the Japanese.
Yeah. No, not light novels, but Denki Boyko. Denki Boyo. I don't know what that is.
They're just one of the light novel publishers. So like, for example, in Crossing Void is like Sword Art, Toradora, Spice in the World.
Okay.
A regular Magic High School, certain Scientific Railgun.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, so
they finally added Holo from Spice and Wolf.
Yeah, and then but in that game you can buy it directly or did you have to?
I had to roll, so it was on a gacha. However, they're one of the ones where there's like a guaranteed thing where it's like, so long as they're on the rate up, or the more likely character, if you roll like 80 times and haven't gotten her yet, you're guaranteed to get her on your 80th time.
Okay. Interesting.
So I put in enough money where I would get the guarantee, and then I got her like 40 in, so it's like a third of the way in, or halfway or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like spent the rest I paid for on just rolling more for anyone else.
Yeah. How much is it for 80 rolls then?
So they're one of those ones where they make it easier the first time. There's some like double currency stuff.
Yeah.
So I was able to do it for $45.
Okay.
For $45, I was able to get more than enough to guarantee I would get an S version of her.
Yeah. And even then, with that system, it's not like you have to buy it all at the one time. It was like you could have incrementally done that as well.
Sort of, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you get, the more you buy it once, the more you get. So
well,
like,
yeah,
gotcha. To buy less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could have put it in like $5 at a time and gotten it after like $20 or $25, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, still, when you think about it, $25 for the character you want is more than most other games.
Yeah, gacha games are pretty awesome. As far as you like, if you think about it, it's like, oh, I spent $45 to guarantee I got.
I got one character, but you did get a lot.
Oh boy!
Yeah, you at least get a lot of other content. The only thing I can say about them as someone who luckily doesn't have well, I don't know. It's interesting because I'm like, at least you get a bunch of other stuff that can be useful for the game.
I got a bunch of other characters. You got one other S character along the way. And just like a bunch of other A ranks, stuff like that. Yeah,
and with that system, if you did buy that much, you're still getting a lot of opportunities to get a bunch of other people you might have been really close to getting already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that kind of system is really nice, but a lot of other ones are just like, if you buy this many at this time, you'll have a guaranteed chance to get a certain rarity of character and whatnot. So it's, but yeah, and also the funny thing is with a lot of the things people were saying is like bad about Battlefront 2 with the whole pay to win thing. Gacha games are literally just pay to win.
Yeah, they're their own special little microcosm where just everyone accepts that it's a really unhealthy system, but like it's just everyone's fine with that. It's just that's just the way it is. We're like,
phone
if
games
you're
are
free to play, you're fine.
Are a certain type of cancer, I swear.
Sure,
Like,
I'll
if
go
you're
ahead
free,
and drop $100 on a fucking gacha game. Why not?
Yeah.
yeah, free to play like always does. Like for the better ones, free to play does okay, and like
Mhm.
especially if you play a lot.
Yeah.
Like if I played Crossing Void more, I probably
Yeah. Hello. You died. Jake. Hello. Anybody there? Mike. Hello? Can't hear you. Your thing's green, but...
Hello?
Hey, there we go. It just took Jake resetting. Alright. Yay,
So
gonna have to edit that
I'll
out.
go back to what I was saying.
Yeah, back to what we were saying. I was like, what am I saying?
Right, so yeah, in Crossing Void, if I'd played a lot more, I probably could have easily gotten Holo for free. It's one of the more generous ones.
Yeah, because with that system, it takes a lot less than like a bajillion rolls in order to get a character or to get the characters you want. You know, this many times, and then I'll get that character.
True.
Yeah, 80 is a pretty good amount of rolls, but like it's still that's really not that hard to save up for and earn as long as you play it every day.
Yeah. So it's I think that system is probably the only one that I'm like fair. Like the other thing I have to say about usually the argument with the pay to win scenarios is when you're playing PvP versus PvE.
Yeah, and like gacha games, of course, don't have any problem with PvP.
Yeah,
they will set you up in a PvP scenario, and you will lose because you didn't spend as much as they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, so the ones that do have it, even then, some of the ones that do, I know, even the playing field a lot of the times.
Yeah, it depends. It depends a lot on the game and things like that. And and there are a lot of games where you can climb really high without paying.
Mm-hmm. And again, you can PvE. Like most of those games are really just PvE. So.
Yeah, it depends on the game. Some of them are PvE only. Some of them aren't.
Yeah, because I think the couple I've played are either PvE only or have a very minor system that has a PvP component. So. But there are a few that are PvP made, like mostly.
Like I know Adria's really big into the Seven Deadly Sins gacha game right now.
Yeah.
And he does pretty darn well in PvP. I don't believe he's spent any money on it yet.
Yeah, I'd be surprised that it also levels it a bit more, where it's mostly just type coverage. But I don't know.
I don't think so. From watching him play, there's definitely seems to be lots of scenarios where it's
he's
not
just crushed.
Fair.
Yeah,
but he is the sort where he's really put the grind in, and just from grinding enough, he's able to do pretty darn well.
Yeah, and ladders and whatnot make it more fair if that's how it functions, instead of
I think. At the end of the day, in any gacha game PvP, I think you're probably never going to get top slot without paying, though. It's just not.
Probably not.
Nope.
But yeah, I mean, yeah.
So like, it is inherently unfair.
Yeah.
The person who pays more does have the advantage because there is always something that's based on getting more of the same
money will equal power in some ways.
Every game has something to do with duplicate characters, and whatever that is, the person with money will have more of that for their best units than you do.
Yeah, but yeah, so again, like I was saying before, phone games are a special type of cancer because they're all just like most like all of them are just pay to win experiences. like in the end with their microtransactions. So, because even for PvE standards, like getting through the game easier with it, and buying power is easy and done.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so we have gotten on a very long time.
Yeah.
Do we want to loot boxes, finish the loot boxes, and then anything else?
Or we did loot boxes. Oh, I was gonna say one other thing, which was actually this. From what I've heard, I really should have double checked this beforehand. I might make an edit later and patch, like, stitch that in. But from what I heard from the Fallout there, so the new Fallout 76 roadmap thing. So Fallout 76,
which is a literal roadmap, by the way.
It's a literal roadmap. It's like a board game roadmap. But so you buy the game for $60. In order to get two or three exclusive, like, big items for your settlements and stuff, you have to pay another $100 a year.
You have to get Fallout first.
Or Fallout first, yeah, for a couple exclusive items, which are the fridge and the scrap box. Which is to say, you don't have to carry a bunch of stuff on you, so you can keep looting things more. And the fridge makes it to where you can put, obviously, food in there to where they don't spoil, because apparently that's a thing. So more things that deteriorate over time and are worthless in your inventory.
They've made all these. They've created all these problems themselves.
So
inventory it's not enough.
Inventory space wasn't honestly was always a problem in Fallout games, so it wasn't a new problem, but still, like, having it to where you break down all your equipment into scrap, which then still takes up a decent amount of space after, like, a week of playing this perpetually updated game like an MMO is ridiculous, unlike a regular Fallout where you just kind of can throw shit around and don't really care if you want to.
You have boxes you can put things in. You
have a base that's static because nobody's gonna run in and take all your stuff because there's no other humans in it. So they have a lot of problems. They built in a lot of problems to the game, and then sell you solutions where they told you the funny thing is they said at the beginning that it was only gonna be cosmetic, and they weren't gonna try to sell you a bunch of, like, crap to pay to win. So instead they put in pay to convenience by making it so annoying to play. Mm-hmm. So in order to feel like you're winning at all, you have to pay them extra money. So after these two things, which were added in last year, or that thing that was added last year, they're now about to add in a roadmap, which is basically a battle pass system. Kinda. But they're gonna make it the battle pass, or the roadmap, free for summer, at least the summer thing. But there's two things that conflict each other that got me really questioning what the fuck they're doing. And this is where I might need to I'll relook up information and stitch it in. That each dot of the roadmap, or each milestone for what would be normally a battle pass, each blip gives you a thing, and each blip needs to be done in order, right? You can pay $1.50 or 150 addons of the in-game currency, which you can get in the game, but it'll now be less than it was before, because before they had dailies that you could get addons for, which is the premium currency. Mm-hmm. You can pay 150 addons per blip if you want to buy them all, even, which is 100. Mm-hmm. There's 100 of them in a season. So you can pay $150 a season to get all of them. Okay.
Which, like, is a lot, but it's also, like, not a lot for some people. There definitely is going to be people who can and will pay that.
Yeah, but again,
well, I mean, you have fanatics in every game, though.
yeah, because it's $100 for. So if you want all the content, but this isn't even per year with this fucking roadmap system, but it's $100 for that.
For roadmap.
150 per season. So wait, I'm not 100% sure if I'm right around that either or not, because I swear they said per season it was 150 or 100 of the blips.
Yeah, that's how
It wouldn't fucking.
Okay,
that's what
so it's 100 per season. So per year, that's an extra $600.
Which most people won't pay, but some people could. What's the consumption they're talking about?
So this is the other thing that actually is the problem. You can't keep progressing until you can't progress out of order. So you can't progress out of order, and each one of those blips is tied to a specific day in that season that you have to complete on that day.
Wait, really? Wait, what?
Yes, that's where it becomes stupid and confusing as fuck.
Maybe it just unlocks on that day.
Maybe it might be that. I'm hoping it's that, because
I don't think there's any way they could have it be any other way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because they said the first 2 weeks you can't. So for the first 2 weeks you can't buy any, but after that you can buy all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy them all. I don't know. But yeah, so I need to double check that, because what I remember hearing is that you can buy them all for the season, but in order to complete them in the game, like the trial in the game, you have to do it on a specific day. And you have to do them in order. So I don't know if they're like, well, I don't know if
I mean, they could let both work. They could either have it be where you don't get the reward that you paid for until that day, or they could just give you everything for paying for it early.
The problem would be if you missed any day in that season, you would then have to pay them money, or you couldn't progress in the season.
So what I think they have to do is that it unlocks on a day, but you can still do it after.
But you can still buy.
No, you can still.
Well, no, you can buy them all ahead of time. Also.
Yeah.
So hopefully they just unlock every day, but I don't know.
Unlock it, so you have to complete
I think it, because from what I remember hearing people talk about, is you have to complete it on the day it unlocks, like for each day. As it happens. That's what I remember.
At any rate, it's definitely way too much fucking money for that shit, regardless of whether or not you have to do it on a specific day. They should. They have the audacity to ask for that kind of money, regardless.
That's actually not that as far as how these tend to work. That's actually about what I would expect.
Yeah. Well, also because it's pretty crazy.
But you have to add up every other thing that people are paying for, as far as like the subscription, the battle pass, or whatever the fuck they're going to
initiate. You don't have to follow first. Like their whole thing is these are all independent. You don't have to be paying for all of these.
It's just crazy to think about, though. If someone wants all the content in Fallout 76, they have to pay in a year. Actually, because it's $600, it's like almost $800, which is fucking dumb.
Yeah, the big problem there is that they just have too many things that are ridiculous. Like Fallout First is an idea. Ridiculous.
Fallout First is an idea. Is fucking dumb.
Sure, 150 for the whole battle pass is about what I would expect, but that doesn't mean everything else is what it should be.
Yeah, because the big thing is with a lot of the stuff in the battle pass being like full cosmetics and stuff like that. Yeah, I can see it being close to that, but I still think 150 is a bit much, like per season. Sorry.
I would probably want it to be a little lower. Like if in like an ideal scenario, if I wanted it to be a little lower,
Yeah.
I just would expect it to be that kind of like you're talking around $100.
Yeah, I was gonna say they should have done it like 100 atoms per. Because since also a lot of people playing this already, because of the daily system that has been in place, would have could have a decent amount of atoms saved up to go into this to be able to spend on, and that is fine. And if they continue having like weeklies or whatever to give atoms out instead of the daily system, like to be able to play through it. But again, the only issue I have that if is the case is if they make it to where if you miss days in a week of playing and you can't actually do the thing, like do the things that have already passed and have to pay money to like continue progressing once you can play again, that's where it's fucking stupid. And that's so far what I've heard, because that's a fucking trap then. Like basically the entire system is a trap.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, and I would say there's just no way they could do that. But if anyone was going to try,
at this point, it's right now. Like,
there's zero laws that say they can't.
Yeah, like they I 100% think they will. And if enough,
it's like rules of business. Like it's not a good model.
It's not good, but at the same time,
that doesn't mean they wouldn't do it because they're stupid.
Because they made Fallout 76 in the first place. They've committed to stupid ideas.
I mean, they made Fallout 76 and is akin to saying that somebody taking a shit is, effort. Like, that game.
They already think Fallout First is a good idea. So, who knows? Maybe they will lock it behind every individual day.
And then if enough people don't pay for it, or they don't rake in enough money off of this fucking trap, they'll possibly then make another charge to get the roadmap for the other seasons after summer, which would be fucking crazy.
We were talking before about how cheap it is to buy Witcher 3. The Game of the Year edition. It's literally $15 right now in Epic Store.
Oh yeah. It's 13. It's 13 something actually.
14.90.
Oh, it's 14.90. Really? Yeah. That was a little bit lower, but
still $15 for the completed.
Yeah. Like as I was saying before, like $15 all the time. Like it's great.
Especially considering that you get all the DLC for that.
You get all the DLC and everything you could possibly buy in that game is $15, and it's a shit ton of hours of content, and it's all quality content as well. So
True.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good stopping point for our discussion.
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, that's a good stopping point.
Yeah, that worked good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this podcast. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
I asked him, did he have to sign a piece of paper that said he will not kink shame? And he said yes.